Chapter 1320, Lin Feng, Banish. Emperor Tianlong appeared wearing a blood-red robe. Two emperors, the crowd was astonished. Surprisingly, two emperors had shown up. That's the second time Emperor Tianlong and Emperor Yu have faced each other. Emperor Tianlong has two goals: kill Tianlong's disciples and oppress Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu, thought everybody else. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword appeared again, but above Qi Qianxing, Lin Feng was still oppressed by the gigantic hand. Not far from Lin Feng, Qiong Qi's eyes were shining. Things were out of his hands now. Kacha! At that moment, the altar began emitting some sounds like it was going to break. Emperor Tianlong frowned and then smiled. Qi Qianxing, continue what you were doing. Emperor Yu and I won't violate our agreement, not to attack before the meeting of the emperors. All right, said Qi Qianxing. Then, he continued moving his hand, but realized it was useless. As before, something was stopping him from moving his hands. Put him in an empty space and banish him from ever coming out, said Emperor Tianlong. Emperor Yu looked at him coldly. Emperor Tianlong interjected in a solemn and respectful way, "Are you going to go against the emperor's agreement?" "You already got involved by helping your disciple," said Emperor Yu. "You also prevented Qi Qianxing from killing Lin Feng, so you got involved." "I've only been involved once myself, so we're even," said Emperor Tianlong, smiling coldly. Qi Qianxing used his other hand to break the space around Lin Feng and threw him in it. "Kill those people from Tianlong Divine Castle and the Qi clan, then you can go back to your grave," yelled Lin Feng. The crowd was confused by the request, especially people from the Qi clan and Tianlong Divine Castle who burst into laughter. Lin Feng was insane. He didn't ask Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword to kill Qi Qianxing, but rather them. Slash! Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword heard Lin Feng and started attacking the Qi clan. Kacha! Those people couldn't compete with Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword. Qi Qianxing was surprised. He hadn't thought that Lin Feng would go insane and use his only saving grace to attack the others. "You want to die," shouted Qi Qianxing furiously. "Die," shouted Lin Feng furiously. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword quickly killed the cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle and the Qi clan, who collapsed one after the other. Emperor Tianlong's looked upset after seeing that. "Bastard!" shouted Emperor Tianlong. He wanted to attack, but Emperor Yu had punched the air in Qi Qianxing's direction. "What are you doing?" shouted Emperor Tianlong furiously. He punched the air in the direction of Emperor Yu's attack. They collided and a gigantic hole appeared in the sky. "You can get involved, but I can't," said Emperor Yu. "Teacher, save me," shouted a voice. Emperor Tianlong turned around and saw a desperate and hopeless face. Kaboom! Kacha! Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword struck them down. That hopeless face kept appearing in Emperor Tianlong's thoughts. "I know you're furious, Emperor Tianlong, especially after you sent so many of your disciples to kill Lin Feng. You wanted to humiliate me and in the end, you humiliated yourself," said Emperor Yu. Emperor Tianlong was becoming even more furious. He hadn't thought that Lin Feng would stop using Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword while fighting Qi Qianxing to kill everyone else. Humph. After Qi Qianxing kills Lin Feng, he will kill all your other disciples. Only a few of my disciples are here, unlike you whose most heroic disciples are all here, said Emperor Tianlong. He was trying to make it sound like he'd still come out on top. The dark hole was becoming even more terrifying. Qi Qianxing glared at Lin Feng and said, "Die. You offended the Qi clan, so I'll kill you." Kacha! At the same time, the altar shook. A silhouette appeared and moved towards Qi Qianxing. "Stop!" shouted Mu Chen, but Qi Qianxing shouted furiously, "Banish!" Boom! A gigantic hand pushed Lin Feng into the empty space. "Go!" shouted Mu Chen. Dozens of thousands of threads of energies moved towards Lin Feng to protect him. "You can't protect him," shouted Qi Qianxing. Terrifying empty space energies appeared all around Lin Feng. Qi Qi Qianxing, you want to die, shouted Mu Chen. Terrifying energies then moved towards Mu Chen. Qi Qianxing groaned coldly and jumped away. He disappeared, but his energies didn't. Break, shouted Qi Qianxing, break. Slash, slash, the empty spaces protecting Qi Qianxing were suddenly riddled with gaping wounds. Qi Qianxing was incredulous. Mu Chen was extremely strong, stronger than he had expected. Kacha. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword moved towards Qi Qianxing, wanting to kill him. That's enough, shouted a voice. A silhouette appeared and dragged Qi Qianxing away. Emperor Qi. Emperor Qi, you made a mistake, said Emperor Yu. All the members of the Qi clan, get next to me, said Emperor Qi. Then all the cultivators from the Qi clan moved behind Emperor Qi. Emperor Yu, Lin Feng killed many of my people, so killing him is normal. Today, we also lost many people, this is enough, said Emperor Qi. Normal. You dispatched cultivators at the very top of the Zun Qi layer to kill Lin Feng, and now that Lin Feng is killing your people, you come to protect them. How ridiculous can you get? You seem to have forgotten that the Qi clan is an imperial clan, said Emperor Yu. So what? Tiantai started a great war, said Emperor Qi before adding, besides, who are you to talk about emperors? A terrifying Qi quickly surrounded Ruoxie. Emperor Qi stopped talking and looked at Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword. Since Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword killed my people, I'll be taking it. So that was your goal, said Emperor Yu. They wanted to kill Lin Feng and steal Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword. Chapter 1321, Is Lin Feng already dead? Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword understood what Emperor Qi meant. Thunderous energies shot out towards Emperor Qi. Stupid animal, said Emperor Qi. In a flash, those thunderous energies condensed and time seemed to stop. Immediately after, Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword emitted whistling sounds. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword had broken the space around it. Surprisingly, Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword could also escape. Open. Emperor Qi shook his hand. The space in which Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword had hidden itself in immediately broke open and he threw himself into it. Bzzz, as Emperor Qi threw himself into that space, Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword appeared on the other side and hid behind another space. What a smart sword, it really is alive, thought Emperor Yu. It was using multiple spatial jumps to traverse incredible distances. To better explain this, there was a great distance between northern Bahuang and central Bahuang, but if the sword found the geographical coordinates, it could immediately move between those places. Emperor Qi quickly came out again. A sword was playing with him, so of course he was furious. Evil creature. I will go to Jiang'a myself and take it, said Emperor Qi. He shook his hand and oppressive energies exploded several mountain. After that, Emperor Qi looked at Emperor Yu. One person had disappeared, Lin Feng. Emperor Qi smiled coldly and said, Tiantai only lost one person, you're quite lucky. Thank you for your concern, said Emperor Yu indifferently. Emperor Qi shook his hands and Qi enveloped all the members of the Qi clan, let's go. Emperor Qi then took the remaining members of the Qi clan away. Even though they had lost a few cultivators, at least Lin Feng was dead. Emperor Tianlong didn't leave though, he was staring at Emperor Yu. Anything else? Asked Emperor Yu indifferently. Nothing, I'm waiting for Tiantai to leave, said Emperor Tianlong smiling. Emperor Tianlong is very polite, said Emperor Yu sarcastically. Emperor Tianlong was actually waiting to see if Emperor Yu would go into the empty space to save Lin Feng. After all, if he found Lin Feng's geographical coordinates and rescued him, Lin Feng might not die. I've always admired Emperor Yu, said Emperor Tianlong smiling mockingly. Though, Emperor Tianlong was actually quite upset at how many of his people he lost. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword had run away and Emperor Qi now wanted to go to Jiang'a. Lin Feng was dead, so at least he couldn't pose a threat to them anymore. After a short time, Emperor Yu said, Tiantai will remember everything that happened today. Then, Emperor Yu flew away. Jinggu, you need to practice cultivation more. You saw how strong Qi Qianxing is. He's a cultivator at the very top of the Zun Qi layer who has no enemies at the Zun level or below. And Mu Qian is even stronger than Qi Qianxing, said Emperor Tianlong to Jinggu. I understand, teacher, said Jinggu bowing politely. He knew he wasn't strong enough. Even fighting Ho Qinglin was difficult for him. All right, said Emperor Tianlong nodding. He didn't say anything more, but didn't leave either. He was very vigilant. After an hour, he left with the strong cultivators from Tianlong Divine Castle. Lin Feng had been in that empty space for too long already, he couldn't possibly be alive. One day after, in Tianyuan City, the news that Tianlong Divine Castle, Tiantai, and the Qi clan had fought, and that 3 emperors had shown up was gossiped everywhere. Besides, after the battle, the Yang clan seemed to have been destroyed and wiped off the map. Lin Feng's death had also caused a storm in Ba Huang. Many people were sad for him. He was a genius who was going to rise, and now it was too late. Many people wished to see him become an emperor someday. By killing Lin Feng, they had effectively limited Tiantai's future. More news spread in Ba Huang. Emperor Qi had gone to Jiang'a to steal Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword, but in the end, he came out calmly, without saying anything and without Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword either. What exactly had happened to Emperor Qi in Jiang'a? Of course, the crowd could only guess because only Emperor Qi knew what had happened. Even people from Jiang'a didn't know exactly what happened there. Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword had come back home to Jiang'a, but Jiang'a's people didn't understand why. Their ancestor's sword had taken control over Lin Feng's body, it was in his body, so why was it back? Of course, even though Jiang'a was worried that Lin Feng could have died, in the end, they were convinced that he was still alive. They had faith in Lin Feng and they had put all their hopes on him. The central part of Ba Huang, Si Kong Shao looked sad as he gazed into the distance. What a pity, such a genius. Wen Tiangu and Wen Ao Shui were inside a palace at the Wen clan. Wen Tiangu whispered, how could you die like that? Maybe there was a miracle, said Wen Ao Shui. In the bestial imperial palace, the great oriental greenfinch rock said, unfortunately, I didn't manage to kill you myself. In the celestial land of alchemists, Shui Bagio sighed and looked sad. In the Qi Feng mountain, 2 beautiful women gazed into the distance, both speechless and sad. In northern Ba Huang, in the Chiu clan, a terrifying and merciless Qi dashed to the skies. Chapter 1322, Battle, Teleportation. Everyone in Ba Huang thought that Lin Feng was already dead. After all, Lin Feng had been caught by a cultivator at the very top of the Zun Qi layer from the Qi clan, and now he had been stuck in an empty space for quite a while. According to legends, apart from emperors, nobody could survive inside it. Back on that day, Lin Feng had ended up in the empty space after Mu Chen had wrapped him up with thousands of threads of godly awareness. That place was dark and desolate wasteland. Am I going to die? Lin Feng thought, alone in the darkness. There was a strong wind blowing against his skin. Gotcha! Terrifying cracks appeared inside. Mind stabilizer, a voice said. Fire burned around Lin Feng and a black lotus appeared under his feet, quickly surrounding his body. Buddy! His friends hadn't let him die. We have to get you out of here, said Yan Di. His voice came from the black lotus. Lin Feng smiled wryly. Be careful. Terrifying empty space energies moved towards them, but Lin Feng and the demon lotus ran away with incredible speed. Lin Feng was soaked in a cold sweat now. Is it possible to break free? Lin Feng asked. I placed a thread of my godly awareness in the demon lotus, but it's not strong enough to get you out. By yourself, you can't break the empty space, said Yan Di hastily. Can you protect him inside? Said another voice. Next to him, a silhouette appeared. Brother! Lin Feng was happy to see that silhouette. Even though he had many enemies, there were some people who were always protecting him, like Mu Chen. I know that there's an empty space battlefield, but I don't know the exact geographical coordinates, said Mu Chen. Alright, I'll protect you guys as you lead the way, said Yan Di firmly, even though he was worried. The lotus became gigantic as it enveloped Lin Feng and Mu Chen. Kaboom! A white light illuminated the sky. Lightning was striking down, but the demon lotus shakily ran away. How dangerous! If I had been here alone, I would already be dead, thought Lin Feng. I have that bed with me, I wonder if it can block those lightning attacks with it, thought Lin Feng, recalling Empress Xi's bed. Even Qi Yun's peerless weapon couldn't destroy the bed. Mu Chen examined the bed and suddenly he looked delighted. You have some great items, put it above our heads to block the lightning. We'll mine the wind energies around us. Alright, said Lin Feng nodding. He put Empress Xi's bed above their heads and they continued moving ahead. They were slow, but it was too dangerous to move any quicker in there. The empty space energy in here is terrifying, thought Lin Feng. Back in Fortune City, he had seen empty space abstruse energies and territorial empty space abstruse energies, but these were terrifying. Slash! A terrifying energy passed above them, making Lin Feng raise his head. Lin Feng's clothes were completely torn to shreds after dodging those assaults. Cracks had appeared in his armor even. Lightning and empty space energies are dangerous, they're a type of abstruse energy which even emperors have to pay attention, said Mu Chen. Brother, I want to practice cultivation while we're here. Is that okay? Asked Lin Feng. Mu Chen was surprised and smiled wryly, you're quite strong. Alright, I'll manage things out here for you. Lin Feng smiled, he couldn't do anything else anyways, so studying empty space energy in here made sense. My life is in your hands, little guy. Lin Feng said to the demon lotus. Lin Feng closed his eyes and his pupils became black. A dark world appeared in his head as he studied the space around him. Gradually, the sweat on Lin Feng's body disappeared and he seemed to be less scared. Maybe he had just forgotten about the surroundings since he was focusing on his cultivation. Lin Feng forgot about time and soon, he forgot about his surroundings. Lin Feng, we're here, said a voice. Lin Feng opened his eyes and saw a battlefield before him, a real battlefield. That's the battlefield the teacher brought me to last time, whispered Lin Feng. Last time, Emperor Yu had brought him to several places and Ruo Xia was fighting on a battlefield similar to this one, if it wasn't this one, that is. The wind is less strong in that thought Lin Feng glancing around. Brother, where are we? asked Lin Feng. He was curious as to why such a battlefield existed in the first place. There's a road from Ba Huang to Jiuyu, but if you use geographical coordinates to go there, you end up in a rather terrifying place. The place you see in front of you is that place which connects Ba Huang and Jiuyu, it's a kind of bridge. Many strong cultivators from Ba Huang and Jiuyu battle here, explained Mu Chen. Since it's the place which connects Jiuyu and Ba Huang, why have I never heard of anyone from Jiuyu coming to Ba Huang? Asked Lin Feng. Lin Feng, if you go to Jiuyu, will you tell them that you're from Ba Huang? You might have seen some geniuses in Ba Huang who were actually from Jiuyu. They probably came here to gain experience and the same applies to Jiuyu, maybe some people from Ba Huang go to Jiuyu to practice cultivation and fight, explained Mu Chen smiling. Chapter 1323, The Young Blade Cultivator, We're lucky, said Mu Chen sighing. Lucky that the wind hadn't killed us, said Lin Feng, smiling thinly. Lin Feng, you're not safe here. People who come here have usually broke through to the 4th Zun Qi layer. Even cultivators at the bottom of the Zun Qi layer who come here usually have the strength of the 4th or 5th Zun Qi layer. Besides, on the battlefield, your social status is not important. Those who come here are ready to fight to the death. They are determined and possess an indomitable will. I cannot protect you here, said Mu Chen. Let's go, said Lin Feng. The demon lotus continued moving ahead. Lin Feng, take care of yourself, said Mu Chen, giving a final nod to Lin Feng. Alright, said Lin Feng, nodding back to Mu Chen. Then, Mu Chen's silhouette disappeared. The demon lotus brought Lin Feng to the battlefield and turned into a thread of light, which then penetrated into Lin Feng's body and disappeared. Bzzz. A strong wind appeared as Lin Feng stepped on the battlefield. There was a young man in front of him, his hair was messy and his energies were sharp. Even though he had only broken through to the 3rd Zun Qi layer, he had the strength of the 5th Zun Qi layer. "Where did you come from?" asked that cultivator, staring at Lin Feng and pointing at the empty space. Surprisingly, Lin Feng had made it out of an empty space. "Where's that demon lotus?" asked the young man. His qi was as sharp as blades, quickly surrounding Lin Feng. "What does it have to do with you?" Lin Feng snarkily replied. Lin Feng sensed that cultivator's aggressive energies and frowned. "You're the first Tian level cultivator who dares talk to me that way," said the young man. He jumped forwards and released both wind and rain energies at Lin Feng. His energies were oppressive, enough so that he could make ordinary Zun cultivators suffocate. Not to mention Tian level cultivators. However, his energies didn't hurt Lin Feng. Lin Feng just looked at him coldly and released some sword energies. The young man was surprised, it was the first he met a Tian level cultivator who could release energies capable of pressuring him. "Surprisingly, amongst low-level Zun cultivators, there aren't many people who would provoke me either," said Lin Feng. A terrifying sword qi invaded space around them and rose to the skies. Lin Feng didn't need to say much, strength was all that mattered here. The young man hadn't expected that Lin Feng would attack him. He released a hand attack which was as sharp as blades at Lin Feng. It contained level 5 empty space abstruse energies. Kacha! The sword lights and the empty space energies collided, pushing energies out in all directions, before disappearing. He condensed abstruse energies in his sword attack, thought the cultivator, surprised. He hadn't thought that a cultivator of the 9th Tian Qi layer could be so strong. Abstruse energies were in that blade. Lin Feng was surprised because the young man's attacks were similar to his own. A genius, thought the young man. This is not a convenient place to fight, we need to find somewhere less dangerous, said the young man. His silhouette flickered and he left. Lin Feng had an empty space behind him, so he didn't feel like fighting near it. That battlefield was vast. Lin Feng was only on the edge, but he could see many people fighting inside. Unsheath your sword, said the young man proudly. Take out your blade then, said Lin Feng. Even though you control several types of abstruse energies, you shouldn't act too arrogantly because your cultivation level is too low. I won't be merciful when I attack. Use your full strength then, said Lin Feng. I'll finish you quickly then, said the young man. He became one with the wind and disappeared. Wind abstruse energy and it's level 5 too, thought Lin Feng. That cultivator controlled two sorts of abstruse energies and both at level 5. Back, thought Lin Feng. He quickly moved back and dodged a blade. Then he enveloped his own body in wind abstruse energies. The abstruse energies turned into sharp blades, but the young man didn't look worried at all. Another attack moved towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng released sword intent, his attack this time was similar to his opponent's. The collision didn't look so terrifying. The young man stopped and looked at the blade, then he raised his head. I will behead you with this blade. The blade condensed energies in the air and started emitting whistling sounds. Lin Feng examined it, it was a blade attack with two types of level 5 abstruse energies combined. Bzzz. The abstruse energies rolled in waves. A sword appeared in Lin Feng's hands which contained 4 types of abstruse energies, wind, thunder, empty space and desolate. Level 2 wind and thunder abstruse energies, level 3 empty space abstruse energies, and there's also a kind of destructive abstruse energy which is level 3 as well. Just what is it, thought the young man, staring at the sword. Chapter 1324, Kongming the Buddhist monk. Even for Zun cultivators, it wasn't that easy to study abstruse energies. Some geniuses understood a few types of abstruse energies, but quantity and quality had their limits. The young man was already very talented and strong. He was famous in his empire, even though he only understood 2 types of abstruse energies. He had broken through to the 3rd Zun Qi layer and his abstruse energies were both level 5. He could even condense abstruse energies in his blade attacks. Even though he had only broken through to the 3rd Zun Qi layer, he could defeat ordinary cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer. Of course, that was only against ordinary cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer. Actually, Lin Feng was amazed too. Lin Feng was wondering if he was from Ba Huang or from Jiuyu. Lin Feng looked at the blade and decided to release sword energies in his hands too. 2 sorts of level 5 abstruse energies. Even with my fusion of 4 different abstruse energies, it's still not enough, thought Lin Feng. Bzzz. Lin Feng condensed some fire around his sword. Even though he wasn't able to make the fire fuse with the attack yet, it still added something. 5 types of abstruse energies, said the young man. That fire abstruse energy was already level 2. Die. Finally, the young man's blade moved towards Lin Feng again. Lin Feng looked at his opponent and attacked and released his attack too. The blade and the sword were both incredible fast and then they collided. Slash, slash, the sword lights were defeated by the blade energies. Just as Lin Feng had thought, it still wasn't enough. Empty void, said Lin Feng. As the blade passed next to him, Lin Feng hid in an empty space and then reappeared after the blade passed by. His back was covered with cold sweat. There was always someone stronger. Of course, Lin Feng was aware that if he had broken through to the 2nd Zun Qi layer, he could have easily defeated him. You're not a bad opponent, you can be proud of yourself. I don't feel like attacking you, but that demon lotus looks really special. Give it to me if you don't want me to kill you, said the young man, staring at Lin Feng in a sharp way. I'm sure we'll meet again, said Lin Feng indifferently. His silhouette flickered and he started running away. You want to escape, but can you? Asked the young man. He released more blade energies, filled with wind abstruse energies, and followed Lin Feng. Bzzz. Lin Feng disappeared and reappeared 100 meters farther in another direction. Empty space holy weapon, thought the young man. He continued chasing Lin Feng. Even though he was moving extremely fast, he still looked confident and at ease. Where are you going? The young man surrounded his body with wind energies and moved even faster. He was now using an empty space abstruse energy agility technique. He kept chasing Lin Feng, however, at that moment, a sword streaked across the sky. The young man looked in that direction and saw 2 dazzling demonic eyes. Die. The young man sensed death, but quickly came back to his senses. Then, he saw a dazzling sword heading towards him. That sword was even more terrifying than all the sword attacks Lin Feng had used before. Piss off, he released a blade attack again, however, this time, it was only half as strong as the attacks he had used before. Kaboom! The dazzling sword surprisingly cut the blade energies and continued moving towards the blade cultivator. I need to run, thought the young man. With the wind, he moved fast enough that the sword couldn't reach him, but he was still soaked in a cold sweat. At that moment, Lin Feng was already far away in the distance. Lin Feng didn't pay any attention to him. He was only a random opponent on the battlefield. Killing, getting killed, battling, all those were normal. Lin Feng gazed into the distance ahead of him. Even if the blade cultivator hadn't killed him, other people could still kill him. Lin Feng changed his face and turned into the black mage. Lin Feng realized that the deeper he went into battlefield, that there would be more cultivators. There were people fighting all around him. Those people had no respect for life, they only respected death and power. Many people passed next to Lin Feng, but they didn't pay him any attention. A cultivator of the 9th Tian Qi layer wasn't worth fighting. Killing such a cultivator wouldn't contribute in any way to making them stronger. Of course, some people also looked at him in a despising way, as if he were ignorant. How could a Tian-level cultivator come to this battlefield? Lin Feng also found out that, apart from him, he had seen no other cultivators of the Tian Qi layer. He seemed to be the weakest cultivator there. Lin Feng gazed into the distance and saw someone he knew. That person was surrounded by golden Buddha energies. Surprisingly, he was fighting 6 medium-level Zun cultivators at the same time. He continued chanting mantras in a clear, melodious, pure, deep, far-reaching Brahma voice, which turned into words, which turned into incredibly powerful attacks. The gigantic Buddha behind him attacked and killed a cultivator of the 4th Zun Qi layer. Buddha attacks are quite powerful in battle, thought Lin Feng. That person was Kong Ming from the Celestial Thunder Temple, one of the 10 strongest young cultivators in Ba Huang. You're stronger than me, thought Lin Feng. 2nd Zun Qi layer, level 5 abstruse energies, explosive attacks, gigantic Buddha hands, indestructible body. In the blink of an eye, Kong Ming killed 4 cultivators of the 4th Zun Qi layer. The last 2 cultivators were starting to get afraid and surprisingly started running away, but the Buddha lights reached them anyways and killed them. It would be wrong to assume that Buddha energies were holy, they could be used as evil energies as well. The Buddhist monk of the Celestial Thunder Temple was a sanguinary killer. Back in Fortune City, Kong Ming was the most mysterious cultivator. He had asked the diviner not to tell him anything, but according to the diviner's reaction, one could guess that he was probably as strong as Mo Shi with his imperial immortal body, thought Lin Feng. Being discreet didn't he was weak. We were meant to meet again, said a voice. Lin Feng turned around and saw someone else he knew. Yi Ren Lei. Chapter 1325. Traveling with Yi Lang Ren. Yi Ren Lei instantly recognized Lin Feng as the Black Mage. He had seen him in the small world in Shuaiyu where he obtained the demon flute. Si Kong Xiao, Yi Ren Lei and Mu Fan Chen all wanted to steal it, but in the end, Lin Feng had forced Si Kong Xiao to hand it over to him. Yi Ren Lei, I trust you have been doing well since we last met, said Lin Feng, releasing demonic energies and looking particularly evil. Yi Ren Lei stood there, looking at him in a seducing way. You know my name, but I don't know yours. You never introduced yourself. Lin Feng was extremely strong, he could definitely compete with one of the 10 strongest young cultivators, Si Kong Xiao. Yi Ren Lei had seen him only once, but she had been amazed at that time. Which powerful group did that black mage belong to? Apart from using the sorcerer's arts, he also knew demonic skills. In Ba Huang, he could have been considered one of the 10 strongest young cultivators. Mu Feng, I'm a loner. I travel around all the time as a nomad. I've traveled through Ba Huang in the past, so I obviously know about one of the 4 most beautiful women of Ba Huang, Yi Ren Lei, said Lin Feng. Mu Feng, Lin Feng, thought Yi Ren Lei recalling Lin Feng. Unfortunately, she had heard that he died. What's wrong, Celestial girl? Asked Lin Feng. I just remembered one of my friends, he's similar to you. He's also at the 9th Tian Qi layer. He defeated some of the 10 strongest young cultivators. I don't know if you've ever heard of him though, said Yi Ren Lei. You mean Lin Feng? Asked Lin Feng smiling. So you know him. Unfortunately, the Qi clan and Tian Long Divine Castle joined hands to attack him and they imprisoned him in an empty space, banishing him from ever coming out, sighed Yi Ren Lei. Is he dead? Asked Lin Feng. Did everyone think he was dead? Yes, or at least, if he's not dead, then he will have to demonstrate his extraordinary talents at the meeting of the emperors, which has been postponed, said Yi Ren Lei, smiling. Postponed? Whispered Lin Feng. He didn't understand what the meeting of the emperors was about. He hadn't asked his teachers or high-ranking fellow disciples, Yi Ren Lei, what is the meeting of the emperors and why has it been postponed? Don't you know about it? Asked Yi Ren Lei smiling. She looked surprised. If Lin Feng was speaking the truth, then maybe he really wasn't from any influential imperial groups, but then how come he was such an incredible fighter? Was he from Jiuyu? In Yi Renlei's opinion, if Lin Feng had been a member of an influential imperial group, he would have been a core disciple, so how could he not know about the meeting of the emperors? I don't know, he said, shrugging. You'll know when you join in. And the meeting has been postponed because the emperors of Tiantai asked for it to be postponed. However, it will still take place soon, in the next 100 days or so, said Yi Renlei. Surprisingly, she didn't hide any details from Lin Feng. Tiantai. 100 days? Lin Feng seemed pensive. It was impossible to see what he was thinking about though. During those 100 days, he definitely needed to break through to the Zun Qi layer, no matter what. Yi Renlei, us meeting is fate, we should travel together. What do you think? Asked Lin Feng. Yi Renlei looked at him as if she wanted to see Lin Feng, but she could only see his pitch-black eyes. Won't you regret if you stay with me? Asked Yi Renlei, smiling in a seducing way. Lin Feng's heart twitched, but he remained calm. Of course I won't, said Lin Feng. He didn't know how to go back to Ba Huang and there were only 2 directions out of there, one was to Ba Huang and the other was to Jiuyu. Great, then you can protect me, said Yi Renlei. Her voice seemed like she could bewitch Lin Feng. Yi Renlei started walking. Lin Feng looked at her from behind and sighed. Did she need him to protect her? That girl already understood 4 different types of abstruse energies and her strength was unfathomable. Yi Langren, after a short time, a group of people appeared in front of Yi Langren and Lin Feng. They were all medium-level Zun cultivators. They looked deathly pale, as if they were sick. Church of Desire, thought Lin Feng immediately. They had similar attacks as the Heavens of Desire's palace. They were evil, deathly pale, perverted, and they were terribly attracted by Yi Renlei. But, they didn't care about Yi Renlei's social status in that place. Yi Renlei smiled at Lin Feng, she looked so cute. You take 3 of them and I'll take 2 of them, how does that sound? Said Yi Renlei smiling. I would love to offer my help to you, said Lin Feng to Yi Langren. In Ba Huang, many people believe that even though Yi Langren practices the Kamadhatu, the 6 heavens of desire and passion skills, she is still pure as jade and clean as ice. Could she still be a virgin, or is it that you are sleeping with that cultivator of the Tianqi layer? Either way, we'll show you what pleasure really means, all 5 of us, said one of them, looking over Yi Renlei's body. They all laughed. Yi Renlei looked unperturbed when she said, it's better to accept deferentially than to decline courteously, deference is no substitute for obedience. Yi Langren made their voices tremble and their bodies shake from head to foot. Be careful, shouted the leader of the group. Yi Renlei's voice was resonating in their souls and in their hearts. On the left of the leader, one of the cultivators wasn't as determined and seemed to be falling, but immediately, he came back to his senses as if nothing had happened. Piss off, shouted a voice furiously. Illusion strength. Lin Feng knew that Yi Renlei could use illusion strength to fight. At the same time, Lin Feng also attacked, throwing himself at the one on the very right. Those 5 people didn't care about him, instead, 4 of them threw themselves at Yi Renlei. Only the one on the right smiled in a cold way when he saw Lin Feng heading towards him. Look at me, shouted Lin Feng furiously. That person fell for it and looked straight into Lin Feng's pitch-black eyes. Kaboom! Explosions sounded. In the blink of an eye, Lin Feng punched his opponent's head aggressively and killed him instantly. Even though those 5 cultivators were medium-level Zun cultivators, on the battlefield, they didn't seem that confident. They stayed together as a pack. Actually, they were far from being as strong as Lin Feng. The others heard those sounds and turned their heads to look at Lin Feng. Boom! Lin Feng released more demonic energies. He was trying to turn them into demons. What's going on? Thought the others, looking at Lin Feng. Yi Renlei smiled. Chapter 1326, Your Highness. Very quickly, 5 corpses littered the ground. Lin Feng and Yi Renlei killed them all. After breaking through to the Zun Qi layer, Yi Renlei's illusion strength has become terrifying, said Lin Feng. With the strength of the 9th Tian Qi layer, your demonic energies and your cursing strength are already terrifying. You killed 2 cultivators of the 4th Zun Qi layer and a cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer. If you hadn't helped, I wouldn't have had such an easy time with the cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer. It's your victory more so than mine, said Lin Feng. Let's continue. Even stronger cultivators are waiting for you in here, said Yi Renlei smiling. Lin Feng walked ahead with her, where they encountered many people who provoked them, but they weren't that strong. Even if they were interested in fighting them, it was only because of Yi Renlei's beauty. Lin Feng didn't exist in those strong cultivators' eyes. Have you ever fought against him? Asked Lin Feng, looking at Kong Ming in the distance. They were walking in the same direction, so it was probably the direction of Ba Huang. Impossible, said Yi Renlei smiling. Is he that strong? Asked Lin Feng. He didn't know if she was just being modest. Believe me or not, many of the 10 strongest young cultivators can't defeat him, said Yi Renlei. Many people only see the tip of the iceberg, but apart from the 10 strongest young cultivators themselves, nobody really knows how strong they are. For example, Lin Feng had defeated Qi Tianxing before he became famous. Then there is you, nobody knows you, but you could definitely defeat some of the 10 strongest young cultivators, explained Yi Renlei. Besides, they're not necessarily all equivalent in terms of battling abilities. Or, like you, nobody knows how good you really are at battling, said Lin Feng smiling. Yi Renlei smiled sweetly after she heard Lin Feng, but didn't say much. Over the next few hours, Lin Feng's qi became more cold and he realized that Yi Renlei's qi had changed too. She didn't look as seducing anymore, her qi had become rather cold. Besides, if Lin Feng hadn't stayed next to her the entire time, he wouldn't have thought it was the same Yi Langren from the Heavens of Desire's palace. Yi Renlei, how long is this place which connects Zhou Yu and Ba Huang? It has existed for many, many years. We would need 3 hours to go from one place to the other, replied Yi Renlei. She sounded relaxed, like she wasn't trying to seduce him. 3 hours to cross. Lin Feng was surprised. It was completely different from the outside world, the space here didn't represent the actual distance outside. This is a convenient way to travel from Zhou Yu to Ba Huang and vice versa then. If you're strong enough, a few more battles and you can reach the other side. You will also have to defeat the guards. Each of Zhou Yu's exits has a guard for each of the 12 empires. Said Yi Renlei. But how did Yi Renlei know that there were guards at the exits? Was it the Heavens of Desire's palace who had told her that? What a beautiful girl, said someone evilly. Someone else was looking at Yi Renlei in a perverted way. Yi Renlei didn't pay attention to them, so that person smiled and said, "And cold, I like it women with a strong personality." He then opened his arms, wanting to force Yi Renlei to hug him. However, a strong qi surrounded him and covered him with a layer of ice. Slash! The enemy shook violently and then collapsed. Lin Feng stopped, Yi Renlei turned around and smiled, "Sorry about that." "Ha, I'm just surprised," said Lin Feng. Water abstruse energies, level 5. "You chose the path," said Yi Renlei smiling. Lin Feng was suddenly curious and intrigued by this new personality. He continued walking at the same speed. Now and then, people wanted to fight, but Yi Renlei immediately dealt with them. After an hour, Lin Feng realized that they still hadn't made it to the exit. According to Yi Renlei, they only needed 3 hours to cross the entire battlefield. Assuming they started near Ba Huang, they should have arrived in Ba Huang after an hour and a half, but they had already been walking for 2 hours. Lin Feng understood what it meant. Yi Renlei's goal wasn't Ba Huang, but Zhou Yu. Lin Feng asked, "Yi Renlei, will you go back to Ba Huang for the meeting of the emperors?" Yi Renlei was surprised when she heard Lin Feng, but said, "Of course." "Alright, then let's have a walk in Zhou Yu," said Lin Feng. "It won't be a pleasant trip, it'll be a terrifying adventure," said Yi Renlei, as they continued walking towards Jiu Yu. However, as they continued, a strong wind started blowing. Lin Feng was surprised because that person was the young man he had fought when he had first arrived in that place. But the young man didn't recognize him anymore, he was staring at Yi Renlei instead. After Lin Feng thought the young man would attack, he watched him kneel down and say, "Your Highness." Chapter 1327, Kill Yi Renlei. "Your Majesty," said the young man. That cultivator of the third Zun Qi layer who controlled two types of abstruse energies and whose abstruse energies were level 5, was calling Yi Renlei, "Your Majesty." Dual Qi and a dual status. Lin Feng thought. Mu Chen had told him that on the passage between Jiu Yu and Ba Huang there were people from both Jiu Yu and Ba Huang. He hadn't thought that Yi Renlei was originally from Jiu Yu and had come to Ba Huang later. "Stand up," said Yi Renlei calmly. The young man stood up and looked at her. Those days, there were some rumors about the princess, but Dao He, the young blade cultivator, didn't believe them. Dao He looked at Lin Feng and sensed his sharp energies. "Your Highness, who's that?" asked Dao He, staring at Lin Feng. "What does that have to do with you?" said Yi Renlei indifferently. Then, they continued walking. Yi Renlei just glanced at him indifferently. Dao He's silhouette flickered and he landed behind Yi Renlei saying, "When the Empire heard that your Highness was coming back, the clan sent me here to pick you up. It's a good thing that I came across you. The strong cultivators from the Empire are also here to greet you." "All right," said Yi Renlei nodding. Dao He was annoyed because Yi Renlei didn't say anything else. He was from an empire, so he couldn't let Yi Renlei go out with a cultivator of the 9th Tian Qi layer. "There's a deadly energy," said Lin Feng, stopping. "Someone wanted to kill them." Yi Renlei and Dao He stopped too. As expected, once they stopped, 3 groups of 4 cultivators appeared. Each group of 4 had a cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer and 3 cultivators of the 4th Zun Qi layer. "Your Highness, we must leave immediately," said Dao He. Then, he released empty space abstruse energies and began running ahead. "Die!" shouted Dao He. His dazzling blade streaked across the sky. Dao He, the facial expressions of that group of 4 people changed drastically. They ran backwards as fast as they could. They weren't quick enough though, those 4 were immediately killed. Lin Feng and Yi Renlei also attacked the other groups. Yi Renlei condensed water abstruse energies as she attacked them. In a flash, they killed 3 of them and killing the last one would be easy for her. Lin Feng killed one of them with sword energies, then, he punched the second with demonic energies which he had condensed in his fists. "Die!" Lin Feng fused cursing and desolate abstruse energies together and threw himself at a cultivator. At the same time, he sensed sharp blade energies surround him. Bzzz. Lin Feng disappeared using empty space energies. Blade energies appeared and immediately destroyed the remaining 3 people. Lin Feng turned around and looked at Dao He. If he had been too slow, he would have died. Empty space teleportation. Dao He frowned. He didn't recognize Lin Feng, but he remembered fighting someone who used such powers. "You almost killed me," said Lin Feng. "You were in the way," said Dao He. Boom. Lin Feng released demonic intent, his pitch-black eyes looked even more menacing. Dao He sensed the demon intent was corroding his soul. "I will destroy you," said Lin Feng. "You're a useless slave, kneel down, insect," said Lin Feng, his voice resonated in Dao He's brain. "No, I'm Dao He, I'm an imperial descendant." Dao He's eyes looked determined. Even emperors must show respect to a demon emperor. "During this life, you're doomed to kneel down to more powerful people," said Lin Feng. Dao He's determination was slowly being whittled away. At that moment, Yi Renlei had already killed another cultivator. She was now watching Lin Feng, surprised. "No, you're ruining my determination," shouted Dao He furiously. However, at the same time, Lin Feng jumped and landed in front of Dao He. A gigantic demon hand appeared, containing cursing and desolate abstruse energies. "Piss off," shouted Dao He furiously. The gigantic hand descended from the sky and hit Dao He's body. A big wound appeared on his chest. At the same time, other terrifying energies rose. Dao He's facial expression changed drastically and he shouted, "Stop, stop." Lin Feng frowned and saw that other strong cultivators were coming. They were much stronger than the cultivators before, they were all cultivators of the 5th and 6th Zun Qi layer. They're all attacking Yi Ren Lei. They want to kill her, thought Lin Feng. There were 100 more days before the meeting of the emperors, but Lin Feng didn't know why she was going back to Jiuyu, nor why so many people wanted to kill her. It won't be a pleasant trip, it'll be a terrifying adventure, recalled Lin Feng. Lin Feng glanced at Dao He and said, "There won't be a next time." "Humph." Dao He groaned coldly and fearlessly. "I don't want to see a next time either," said Yi Ren Lei to Dao He. Dao He was upset at first, but then nodded. "Your Highness, I contacted the strong cultivators of the clan already. We only need to hold out for a little longer," said Dao He. Then, he turned around and a purple blade twinkled in the air. Die! Their chi was terrifying. A gigantic hand appeared in the sky. "Break!" shouted Dao He while condensing his own abstruse energies. His blade slashed, however, a strong sword light moved towards his blade. At the same time, 2 cultivators of the 6th Zun Qi layer threw themselves at Yi Ren Lei. One of them had sharp golden energies while the other one had wind energies. "Oh no, looks bad," thought Lin Feng. Chapter 1328, Obvious Murderous Intentions. Yi Ren Lei released more energies after seeing them approaching. Her energies turned into a watery cage to block the enemy's attack. Their energies became a rain as they hit the cage. A dazzling golden light did capture Yi Ren Lei, however, her silhouette became distorted and she managed to get away. She could turn into water when attacked. "Help me block one of them," Yi Ren Lei said to Lin Feng using telepathy. The other one released wind energies which quickly surrounded her. Lin Feng looked at them and instantly realized that they had broken through to the 6th Zun Qi layer, so if any of their attacks reached them, they'd die. The difference between the 5th and the 6th Zun Qi layer was that large. "I'll fight against the one with the golden abstruse energies," sighed Lin Feng using telepathy, while taking out a scepter. "Die!" The scepter turned into a cursing tree and headed towards that cultivator with the golden energies. "Take!" That cultivator created a gigantic hand which moved towards the ancient tree. He immediately grabbed it and throwing Lin Feng's body away. "Curse," said Lin Feng. The scepter released energies at the gigantic hand and started corroding it. Bzzz. That cultivator suddenly looked horrified. He wanted to move his hand back, but blood already appeared. "You must want to die," said that cultivator. He stretched out his hand and a golden tower appeared with golden marks on it. "Die!" shouted the cultivator. The tower became gigantic, so large that it was going to crush Lin Feng like an ant. "Come out!" Lin Feng took out his bed and put it above his head. Kaboom! The golden tower crashed onto the bed, leaving Lin Feng's arms numb. That tower had forced half of Lin Feng's body into the ground. "You're quite tough," said the enemy while releasing more oppressive energies. Boom! Lin Feng released demonic chi this time. The golden tower was above Lin Feng's head again, but then he suddenly disappeared and reappeared in front of the enemy. His scepter aimed straight for the enemy's head. Kaboom! The golden tower hit the ground and exploded. Lin Feng was feeling a bit lucky to have his cloak to teleport with. "Deadly soul curse," shouted Lin Feng furiously. Suddenly, it was like ghosts were wailing, their lamentations resonating in everyone else's brains and corroding their determination. "Destroy!" shouted a strong cultivator furiously. His body became surrounded by golden lights as he threw himself at Lin Feng. The space around them turned completely golden and Lin Feng felt weighed down, like several mountains were resting on his shoulders. That cultivator of the 6th Zun Qi layer had attacked Lin Feng a few times, but still hadn't managed to kill him. Lin Feng took a few steps back, but was still stuck in the golden world. Even though Peerless holy weapons were powerful, the cultivator who used them also had to be strong. Lin Feng looked at his quickly approaching enemy and then at the bodies on the ground, the 20-something people he had killed before. Deadly Curse Technique. Lin Feng used his scepter to release more energies. Immediately after, the bodies started to stand up. Die, said Lin Feng. The corpses' eyes were twinkling with black lights as they moved towards the enemy. At the same time, Lin Feng attacked the golden world with his scepter again. He knew that the bodies couldn't withstand the enemy's attacks. Curse Gold, the golden energies faded and Lin Feng rose up in the air, surrounded by demonic qi. Where are you going? Shouted the cultivator, chasing Lin Feng. Lin Feng punched the air in his direction. Kaboom! Lin Feng was violently propelled backwards and crashed into the ground. Many of his bones were broken. Lin Feng invoked his blood strength. Even though he hadn't broken through to the Zun Qi layer yet, he had dragon blood. Lin Feng also swallowed some vitality water and released vitality abstruse energies to heal his body. However, he didn't have much time before the enemies closed in on him. Lin Feng opened his third eye and turned into a demonic beast. Do you think using your godly awareness is of any use? Asked the enemy. A golden hand headed in his direction again. Bestial consciousness, open, said Lin Feng. Desolate qi poured out from within him. That pure desolate qi could corrode anything, even the golden lights faded some. Ah, the strong cultivator gave a horrible shriek. His eyes were hit by the desolate qi, preventing him from opening his eyes. Die! Die! Lin Feng and his enemy shouted at the same time. Lin Feng aimed his scepter at the enemy's head while the enemy pierced through the desolate qi and aimed straight towards Lin Feng. Die! Die! Shouted Lin Feng, releasing more and more demonic qi. Apart from the demonic qi, he also released Ling Long's celestial qi. Kaboom! Cracks started appearing on the enemy's head. At the same time, the enemy caught up to Lin Feng. Lin Feng's bones were cracking and his viscera felt like they were going to explode. Lin Feng was propelled backwards, crashing into the ground 100 meters away. Blood splashed everywhere. A gigantic golden handprint was left on his chest. Luckily, he had finally managed to hurt the enemy, but he had used all the desolate qi from the Huang Sea he had previously absorbed. Yi Renlei was also in a bad situation. She was injured, she was only managing to evade lethal blows, nothing more. Father, shouted a Dao He furiously. A group of strong cultivators arrived and all the enemies suddenly looked destabilized. A strong wind started blowing and tornadoes appeared. Slash, slash, blade lights appeared everywhere and blood spilt. The wind became calmer. Yi Renlei appeared from out of the chaos, her clothes were a bit torn. Your Majesty, said a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer, bowing before Yi Renlei in a respectful way. At the same time, the other strong cultivators wiped the blood and dust off Dao He's face, then, they all ran to Yi Renlei and bowed. Thank you very much everyone for your help, said Yi Renlei, glancing at them. She didn't look particularly troubled. Then, she went to Lin Feng and saw the body of the cultivator, of the 6th Zun Qi layer, whom Lin Feng had killed. You're amazing, said Yi Renlei, smiling in a way which sufficed to make anyone fall in love. The strong cultivators behind her couldn't see her face, but they could tell from her voice that she didn't sound that cold. Dao He's father frowned and glanced at him in a cold way. Your Highness, who's that? Asked Dao Gu, hastily walking towards Lin Feng, not hiding his coldness. Lin Feng was surprised. Why did that guy want to kill him? Watch your words, said Yi Renlei. I understand, but for your safety, that person must leave, said Dao Gu furiously. Yi Renlei glanced at him and then walked next to Lin Feng. She grabbed his arm and said, "He's my boyfriend." Chapter 1329, Ice Empire, "He's my boyfriend," said Yi Renlei. Everybody was speechless, especially Dao He. Lin Feng was astonished as well, but he quickly came back to his senses and glanced at the crowd with his pitch-black eyes. "You shouldn't tarnish your reputation, even if you want to protect him," said Dao Gu, trying to judge Lin Feng. "Do you think I'm joking?" asked Yi Renlei, leaning against Lin Feng and looking at those people rudely. Lin Feng stared at Dao Gu as well. That was a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer. If they were in Ba Huang, he'd be a core member of an influential imperial group. "Dao Gu, Her Majesty has come back with the man she loves." "What is the problem with that?" said an old man walking towards them. He was also a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer. "I just thought he might be a bandit, but since Her Majesty is not joking, of course I'm happy for her." "The Dao family is happy to welcome her back to the empire," said Dao Gu. All the members of the Dao family moved aside and let Yi Renlei pass. "Your Highness, welcome back to the empire," said the old cultivator. "Thank you," said Yi Renlei. Then she dragged Lin Feng and they walked forwards. Nobody caused them trouble anymore since they were now surrounded by such amazing cultivators. After a short time of walking, they arrived at the end of the path. In front of Lin Feng were 12 passages. The ones leading the way chose a path. They were all moving quickly as the passage was quite long, but even then, it took them half an hour to reach the exit. There were empty space energies waiting for them at the exit. "Please, Your Highness," said Dao Gu and the other cultivators, stopping. The exit was very small, for it was only a crack in the space. "Let's go out," said Yi Renlei, dragging Lin Feng along. Once they arrived on the other side, Lin Feng quickly realized that he was surrounded by ice-cold energies, and some more people even. "I'm back," whispered Yi Renlei. When they walked out of that cave, Lin Feng was surrounded by 2 stone men on each of his sides who looked ice-sculpted people. Lin Feng were convinced that they were real people. "Guards," thought Lin Feng. Those 2 had to be the guards, but they didn't react at all. Lin Feng continued walking ahead before finally arriving outside. It was a vast area with buildings everywhere. The crowd in the distance looked tiny, like specks of dust. He was on a lofty glacier which was 10,000 meters tall, only halfway up a building. "What's above our heads?" asked Lin Feng. "We can go and you'll see," said Yi Renlei while walking up. Lin Feng shrugged and followed. He was injured, but it didn't matter. In the distance, there was a building which was higher than any of the clouds, but it was blurry behind the mist. In my previous world, if people had seen that, they wouldn't have thought so highly of the Potala Palace, whispered Lin Feng. That palace in the distance was 1,000,000 times bigger than the Potala Palace. "Jiu, Ice Empire," whispered Yi Renlei. Lin Feng nodded and saw 2 cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer approaching. Yi Renlei was the princess of one of the 12 empires in Jiu, a high-level empire. "Your Majesty," said Dao Gu and the others. "We'll be taking you back to the palace to ensure your safety." Yi Renlei nodded and they rose up in the air, moving towards that gigantic building. Yi Renlei's palace was the farthest one away and the highest up. "You can go back now," said Yi Renlei to Dao Gu and the others once they arrived in front of her palace. "Your Highness, since I'm back, nobody will attack me anymore." "I don't want to be disturbed," said Yi Renlei, glaring at Dao Gu and interrupting him. Dao Gu had no choice but to nod and say, "Have a good rest, Your Highness, I'm going to inform the Snow Queen." "Your Highness, we're off," said another cultivator respectfully. Then, they left. Dao He was the last one to leave. Before he left, he glanced at Lin Feng in a cold way. After everybody left, Yi Renlei looked at Lin Feng and he stared back at her. "Are you feeling uncertain, my love?" said Yi Renlei smiling. She didn't look that cold anymore, instead smiling and looking alluring. Each palace around hers was gigantic, but hers was the largest. It had a restrictive qi around it, barring anyone other than those Renlei herself brought to it. Lin Feng said, "Her Majesty, the Princess of the Snow Empire wouldn't want me to become a descendant of the Empire." Don't worry, you're the only one so far. Maybe that someday," sighed Renlei in a gentle voice, looking at Lin Feng in a seducing way. She walked towards him, pressed her lips against his ear, and said, "Lin Feng. Lin Feng. I knew you couldn't die that easily. If the Qi clan and Tianlong Divine Castle knew you were still alive with how much they've lost, they'd go insane. Even the emperors had showed up." "Could you imagine?" said Renlei smiling. "How can you be sure I'm Lin Feng?" asked Lin Feng calmly. Cursing energies, 9th Tian Qi layer, terrifying battling abilities, several abstruse energies, and the vitality water. "How could I not know?" asked Renlei smiling. "I was surprised because Lin Feng likes using sword and you use cursing energies, but surprisingly, you're the same person. No wonder you wanted the demon flute the other day, and after giving it up so easily, you came back for it under another persona. Everybody has their secrets. You too, desire, illusion, transformation, dodging, vitality, and water abstruse energies. In Ba Huang, you're the holy girl of the Heavens of Desire's palace, and in Jiu Yu you're a cold and noble princess. Why did you go to Ba Huang and why did you study desire cultivation?" asked Lin Feng. "During the next 100 days, you will understand. After all, you're my boyfriend now, at least for these 100 days. Said Renlei smiling. "Alright, my love, get ready. We'll be seeing my father and mother, the emperors, and the leaders of my country." Chapter 1330, Renlei Seduction, Ice Emperor, Snow Leader, asked Lin Feng, "They're all cultivation emperors?" "Indeed," said Renlei smiling. "Jiu Yu and Ba Huang should be similar, while the holy city is the most mysterious place of all." "Xiaoya told me that," whispered Lin Feng. He couldn't expect to go to the holy city, the very center of the continent of the 9 clouds. However, Lin Feng rarely heard people talk about the holy city. "Lang Ren, do you know anything about the holy city?" asked Lin Feng. "I just heard that the holy city is the centralmost part of the continent of the 9 clouds. Only the strongest cultivators go there. I also asked about the holy city, but my father, mother, teachers, etc. wouldn't tell me anything about it. They only said that I'll know when the right time comes," said Renlei. "But I've heard that the meeting of the emperors, to which Jiu Yu and Ba Huang also participate in, has something to do with the holy city," said Renlei. In Lin Feng's circle, apart from the legendary emperors, only Mr. Xiaoya, and Meng Qing's mother had been to the holy city, but Mr. Xiao and Meng Qing's mother hadn't told him anything about it. Maybe the emperors have been there, but they don't want to talk about it, thought Lin Feng. Even though emperors' lives had limits, they could at least live for 1,000 years, high-level emperors could even live up to 10,000 years. Besides, amongst the emperors in Ba Huang, were there none who could become a great cultivation emperor? Everything seemed to be pointing to the holy city. Maybe there, Lin Feng would learn more about the legends he heard about and the history of some of the older emperors. As Renlei had expected, it wasn't long before a Qi appeared in the distance. Lin Feng and Renlei raised their heads and saw a bunch of people wearing ice and snow armors. "Your Highness, welcome to the Ice Empire." The sun was shining off their armors, so Lin Feng could see the person's face, but he could tell he wasn't very nice from his tone. Lin Feng recalled that some people had tried to kill her and that Dao Gu and the others protected her. Lin Feng had the feeling that something was going on in the palace, but Renlei didn't know about it. But those people were incredibly powerful, even normal soldiers were low-level Zun cultivators, while the leader was a cultivator of the 4th Zun Qi layer. "Who are you talking to?" asked Renlei when the soldiers sensed Renlei's coldness. They looked angry and said, "Your Highness, we said all we had to say, so we're off." "My love, do you see how people treat me?" said Renlei. With your strength, you can kill them easily, said Lin Feng. Yi Renlei looked at him angrily, she seemed to be blaming him for not helping. How am I of any value here? Asked Lin Feng. Yi Renlei smiled thinly and said, you just have to pretend that you're my boyfriend, that's all. Lin Feng shrugged and said, I don't like being used by people. Tell me what you're scheming, otherwise, if anything happens, I won't stay on your side. Yi Renlei suddenly looked terribly beautiful and seducing. In Jiu, there are only 12 emperors. Although there are fewer emperors here than in Ba Huang, Jiu is more powerful than Ba Huang. Besides, Jiu is 5 times bigger than Ba Huang, and the real power of the 12 empires lies in their temples, the 12 shrines. There is the symbol of the Ice and Snow Empire, our shrine, said Yi Renlei while pointing to a temple. I've heard that the 12 temples come from the holy city. I also know that even the emperors can't go to the shrines as they wish, only before the Imperial Alliance's meeting will they open. This is the equivalent of the meeting of the emperors in Ba Huang. Also, the Imperial Alliance meeting and the meeting of the emperors are going to be on the same day. Lin Feng listened to Yi Renlei intently. Do those things have anything to do with me? Asked Lin Feng. Of course, in the history of the Ice and Snow Empire, the ruler has never allowed the women of the empire to go to the shrine. Until the Snow Leader appeared, that is. She wanted to break that rule, but there was an unprecedented resistance. Finally, there was a regression and the rule became, women can go to the shrine only with their lover, said Yi Renlei. Lin Feng asked, I don't understand, what is the point of that rule? The Ice and Snow Empire has always been controlled by emperors. According to legends, the Ice Goddess will only transmit her knowledge to a woman who lost her purity, said Yi Renlei, leaning against Lin Feng. She wanted Lin Feng to have compassion for her. So if women want to go there, it actually doesn't depend on the man, it's just that the woman must have lost her virginity, said Lin Feng, looking at her beautiful face. Indeed, said Yi Renlei nodding. Why me? Because I'm still a virgin, said Yi Renlei, smiling at him in a seducing way. My lover, you know how I want to use you. I want you to make love to me, I don't want to be pure anymore. That was any man's dream, having sex with the holy girl of the Heavens of Desire's palace, the princess of the Ice and Snow Empire. Why me? You said you wanted to travel with me. I never thought about it, but then I realized that the Black Mage and Lin Feng were the same person and was amazed. Why wouldn't I choose an outstanding man to lose my virginity to? What if you hadn't encountered me? Asked Lin Feng. I would have chosen someone here in Jiu or maybe Dao He, said Yi Renlei. Lin Feng didn't feel comfortable, she was cruel, cruel to herself, cruel to him. Because she wanted to go to the Ice and Snow Shrine, she would sleep with any man. Is that worth it? You're the holy woman of the Heavens of Desire's palace, the princess of the Ice and Snow Empire. I know that there will be such a day in the future, but I want to receive the transmissions of the goddess right now, said Yi Renlei smiling. Alright, my love, let's enjoy the pleasures of lust. You have already broken through to the top of the Tian Qi layer, maybe this will help you break through to the Zun Qi layer. Besides, am I really that disgusting? Lin Feng shook his head and smiled wryly, how could she be ugly or disgusting? Chapter 1331, Influence in the Empire. Lin Feng moved his head closer to her, stretched his hand and touched her chin. He smiled thinly and said, so seducing me and then abandoning me won't be a problem for you? Yi Renlei smiled and stretched her slender white hands, putting them around Lin Feng's neck. He could smell her breath, she was so close to him. In 100 days, I'll still be Yi Ren and you'll still be Lin Feng. During those 100 days, you can make love to me whenever and as much as you want, my love, said Yi Renlei, turning Lin Feng on even more. Lin Feng removed his hands from her chin and she pulled her hands away from him. He didn't look at her again, desire abstruse energies could make any man fall and he was afraid to fall for her. Didn't we want to go see the Ice Emperor and the Snow Leader? Asked Lin Feng, walking away. Yi Renlei looked at him angrily and followed him, making small, cute steps. She caught up with him and grabbed his arm. My love, so do you want me to give Dao He my virginity? Dao He. Lin Feng's eyes flashed with cold lights. The first time he had seen him, Lin Feng didn't mind him, but the second time he saw him, Dao He had attacked him by surprise. The third straw was when the Dao clan had arrived and he had released murderous energies while looking at Lin Feng. They both walked for a bit and arrived near a gigantic ice palace. It reached the clouds and the sun was shining on the ice, but wasn't melting. It looked like it was made of crystals rather than ice. There weren't any guards in the main hall because a place like that didn't need guards. Yi Ren, my little girl, you're here, said someone in a gentle way, even though Lin Feng and Yi Ren Lei hadn't even arrived yet. Lin Feng and Yi Ren Lei made it to the middle of the main palace. It was filled with an incredible qi. There was ice outside, but inside, everything was golden. There were carvings of a beautiful girl on the stone pillars. Some people were sitting at the end of the room, a few dozen actually. The ones who attracted the most attention were the two people at the very front, to the left and the right. On the left was a well-proportioned middle-aged man who looked at Lin Feng in a cold way. That person was probably the Ice Emperor. On the right was a woman who looked simple, elegant, clean. She was wearing a snowy robe. She was probably very old, but she looked like she was 24. Lin Feng sighed and reminded himself that being strong was a good way to remain beautiful. Many people were sitting at their feet. Many of the young men looked noble and heroic, their qi was incredible and they had imposing appearances. They were probably the descendant of feudal aristocrats. Dao Gu and Dao He and the other strong cultivators at the top of the Zun Qi layer, as well as a young man, were sitting at the feet of the snow leader. Father, mother, said Yi Ren Lei, holding Lin Feng's arm and bowing in front of them. Lin Feng also bowed in front of them. Mr., Madam. My daughter is even more beautiful, said the snow leader, standing up and walking over to Yi Ren Lei. She touched her face, but Lin Feng found it strange because they looked like sisters, not mother and daughter. The snow leader turned around and looked at Lin Feng. She smiled thinly and said, that's my daughter's handsome little boyfriend. Lin Feng was speechless. Little boyfriend. Alright, come and sit, the snow leader dragged Yi Ren Lei, and Yi Ren Lei dragged Lin Feng to sit at her feet too. Yi Ren, at that moment, the Ice Emperor looked at Yi Ren Lei. Father, said Yi Ren Lei in a cold way. There are millions of men in the empire and I have so many sons who are all extraordinary. If you like one of them, I can help you marry them. Why did you choose this random guy? Asked the Ice Emperor. Lin Feng now understood that those people weren't Yi Ren Lei's parents, even though she called them her parents. It seems like the balance of power is completely different here and in Ba Huang province. Even though emperors are the most respected people here and even if there are two emperors in one empire, it seems impossible for two emperors to be as close as those in Tiantai, thought Lin Feng. It was as Yi Ren Lei had said, the Ice Emperor didn't wish that Yi Ren Lei would go to the shrine, to keep the lineage pure. While the snow leader wanted her to lose her purity, but with one of his own. You're overthinking things, father, how could I bring a random man, said Yi Ren Lei, leaning against Lin Feng and smiling in a gentle way. Dao He looked furious, he had never seen Yi Ren Lei act like that, she seemed to be genuinely in love. If there's anything you have doubts about, before I go to the shrine, I can prove that I'm right, said Yi Ren Lei. Everybody understood what kind of proof she was talking about. The Ice Emperor nodded and said, since you have already made a decision, I won't say anything more. I just think it's a pity that I have so many sons and that you're not interested in a single one of them. That's not true, I'm just afraid that I'm not good enough for them, they're all so outstanding, said Yi Ren Lei modestly. She couldn't choose one of the Ice Emperor's sons, otherwise, she wouldn't be in control of her life anymore. Without Lin Feng, she would have had to choose Dao He. I think you're destroying your future, said someone else in a cold way. It was a young man wearing an imperial robe. He was tall and looked noble. He looked at Yi Ren Lei and continued, you should understand that we want to protect you because we're part of the same family. Instead, You brought a random man, implying that you don't care about us. I appreciate your kindness, said Yi Renlei, glancing at Lin Feng in a gentle way. Since it's that way, I have nothing else to say, said that young man. Then he looked at the snow leader and said, Mother, what do you think? In the Ice and Snow Empire, the Cultivation Emperor was the most respected person and was the ruler of the country. The Snow Leader and the Emperor weren't a couple by any means, but in the Empire, they were the most respected people, so everybody called them mother and father. That had been the tradition since the antiquity. I am happy if she's happy. Of course, if she can make a better decision, I don't mind, said the Snow Leader, smiling. I already decided, I won't change my mind either, Mother, said Yi Renlei, smiling. Things could change, don't be so sure, said the young man indifferently, not trying to conceal anything. My boyfriend has a bad temper, if you infuriate him, don't blame me for not having warned you, said Yi Renlei. Lin Feng was sitting there, looking like a demon with his pitch-black eyes. The situation was far worse than he had expected. It was no wonder that some people wanted to kill her in the empty space. The situation was already bad enough in the open like this, so behind the scenes, it was probably quite scary. Those who had tried to kill Yi Renlei in the empty space had probably been sent by some of those people who were in front of them. I hope he's got a bad temper, said the young man, smiling coldly. Father, Mother, I'm off, said the young man, standing up. He bowed in front of the Ice Emperor and the Snow Leader and looked at Yi Renlei. You can come to my palace whenever you want. He smiled and slowly left. Chapter 1332, Ice Lotus, he has a bad temper, even you can see that. I hope you can think a bit more about this, said the Ice Emperor. He sounded like a father giving advice to his daughter. I'll remember that, said Yi Renlei before standing up. Father, Mother, if there's nothing important to do, I'm leaving. Alright, you can go and practice cultivation. You need to become even stronger before the opening of the shrine, said the Snow Leader, smiling. Thank you, Mother, said Yi Renlei, bowing, then dragging Lin Feng out of the palace. Lin Feng and Yi Renlei arrived in another palace and some women arrived. Their skin was as white as snow, they looked beautiful, and their qi was extraordinary. Yi Ren, you came back. I heard that you went to Ba Huang province, it's so nice there. They all smiled in a gentle and friendly way. It's alright, replied Yi Renlei calmly. Is that your boyfriend? He doesn't look that special at all. You should have found a boyfriend even more outstanding than you. She's right, don't you care about the rest of the lineage? Don't you care about your sisters? The girls were all talking and making fun of Yi Renlei. Lin Feng frowned, their relations were all chaotic. According to some rumors, there's a chaotic place called the Heavens of Desire's Palace in Ba Huang where there's a holy girl who has the same name as you. It's not you, right? How could it be her? The women there are sluts, they'll sleep with anyone, said another one, laughing and looking at Yi Renlei. Let's go, said Yi Renlei, suddenly dragging Lin Feng. But those girls didn't give up. Some girls even stopped in front of Lin Feng and smiled. Sister, why don't you not introduce your boyfriend to us? Are women in the Ice and Snow Empire all so noisy? Asked Lin Feng to Yi Renlei. How insolent! After he said that, a terrifying ice energy filled the room. The girls instantly stopped smiling and became hostile. The other girl also moved aside. Lin Feng knew that they had been fishing for a reason to attack him this whole time. I may be the weakest here, but I can't let my sisters stay with a piece of trash like you. Piss off and get out of the Ice and Snow Empire, said the girl in front of Lin Feng in a cold way. Yi Renlei smiled indifferently and dragged Lin Feng. She smiled proudly and said to him, using telepathy, My love, do whatever you want, and no matter what you do, I'll stay with you. Lin Feng's pitch-black eyes twinkled as he looked at the girl in front of him. She had broken through to the first Zun Qi layer, but since she was the weakest one, her abstruse energies were probably level 3 already. Boom! Lin Feng jumped forwards. He no longer looked like a little boyfriend, but a demon god. The girls instantly felt cold when they saw Lin Feng's pitch-black eyes. He was destroying their determination. "Sit down," said Lin Feng, walking forwards. It was as if the demonic energies had turned into spears and were piercing into the girl's eyes. She immediately fell down on her bottom and her face became deathly pale. "Let's go," said Lin Feng calmly. Yi Renlei smiled and put her slender white arm around Lin Feng's arm. "What's going on?" asked the girl who was sitting on the ground. Demonic eyes," whispered the girl as if she had understood something. Lin Feng and Yi Renlei went back to her palace where Lin Feng asked, "Is the snow leader your real mother?" "You guess," said Yi Renlei, smiling and looking back at Lin Feng. "The emperor has so many sons because he can have as many women as he wants, but those who call the snow leader mother should be her real daughters, they probably share her blood." "If you tell me that everyone is the snow leader's child, I wouldn't believe it," said Lin Feng. "She's my real mother," said Yi Renlei smiling, but Lin Feng found that smile unnatural. Yi Renlei put her hands on Lin Feng's neck, he could smell her breath when she said, "She's evil." "I'll take you to a place I hate," said Yi Renlei, dragging Lin Feng up in the air. On Lin Feng's right was a tall and erect building, it was the Ice and Snow Shrine. There was also a gigantic glacier. Yi Renlei looked at the Ice and Snow Shrine and then moved towards the glacier. Yi Renlei landed on it and Lin Feng followed. They arrived in front of an ice lotus. "My love, will you pick up that flower for me?" Lin Feng walked towards the lotus, crouched down, picked it up and gave it to Yi Renlei. Could a woman from the Heavens of Desire's palace possibly act like a cute and sophisticated girl too? Yi Renlei took the lotus and smiled. "There are many glaciers in the Ice and Snow Empire. When I was a child, I liked running on glaciers and picking up lotuses. My father was an ordinary man who liked being on my side and would protect me. At least, until that demon appeared in my world." "The snow leader?" asked Lin Feng. "Indeed, the snow leader. You saw how beautiful she is, it's her hobby to seduce and play with men," said Yi Renlei smiling. "She's a real demon, many men go insane for her, some of them are even ready to die for her. My father waited 8 years for her and she only stayed with him for 8 days, then she made my father kill himself." "Don't you think that's evil?" said Yi Renlei calmly. "All those girls are the snow leader's daughters and they all believe that for the snow leader, men are only tools," explained Yi Renlei. "I don't know about the holy city, but in the continent of the 9 clouds and no matter where in it, be it Ba Huang province or in Jiuyu, women are rarely leaders. Not because they're less talented, but because they are less determined and less cruel. A woman has to be cruel to become an empress. The snow leader is that kind of person, she won't let anything or anyone influence her, her daughters or men. She has an indomitable will. That's why you went to Ba Huang province and became the holy girl of the Heavens of Desire's palace," said Lin Feng. "Do you want to become like the snow leader, have men and then abandon them?" "No, how could I be like that? How could I abandon or kill a man I love?" said Yi Renlei. "I just want to kill one person, the snow leader, but it's easier said than done." "My love, will you help me?" "Is that why you want to go to the Ice and Snow Shrine?" asked Lin Feng. "Indeed," said Yi Renlei nodding. "In the Ice and Snow Empire, there's an ancient legend that when a man picks up an ice lotus for a woman, he has to protect her. I'm not asking you to protect me forever, only during these next 100 days. Can you promise me that, my love?" She slowly approached Lin Feng and released desire abstruse energies, causing Lin Feng to slowly burn on the inside. Chapter 1333, Carnal Pleasures, "You're a demon too," said Lin Feng when he sensed the desire abstruse energies controlling his body. Yi Renlei looked sexy, beautiful. She even stood on the tip of her toes and suddenly kissed Lin Feng passionately. She snuggled with him, made out, her body was firmly pressed against his. "I'm not the same, I'm pure and clean, my love. You're my first man, my first love, and you'll be the last one too." I'll always be the best woman I can be with you, she said in a low and sexy tone. Slash, Lin Feng's clothes were suddenly torn apart, some parts of them flew away in the wind. Yi Renlei took off her clothes, only leaving her underwear. Her beautiful white skin was perfect, without impurities. Lin Feng's clothes continued falling down and flying away with the wind. He only had his armor left, but it was mixed with his skin. My love, let's take off everything, said Yi Renlei. She took Lin Feng's hand and put it on her skin. Are you sure you won't regret this? Asked Lin Feng, his eyes were gradually filled with fire and passion. These next 100 days, only you and I matter. After those 100 days, you won't need to bear any responsibility, said Yi Renlei shyly, putting Lin Feng's hand on the last clothes she was wearing. You're even more evil than the snow leader, said Lin Feng. He was going insane, his eyes were filled with fire, desire, passion. He finally took off her last clothes and couldn't hold himself back any longer. Lin Feng's armor disappeared, so now they were completely naked in that icy world. A icy lotus appeared beneath them and hid them from the rest of the world. My love, let's succumb to our carnal desires, said Yi Renlei in a seductive way. He immediately succumbed to her beautiful body and they made love for a long time. Yi Renlei was moaning in Lin Feng's ears. They forgot about everything around them while making love. Lin Feng had never had that feeling before, even while making love to Xin Yi, he had never felt that way. Yi Renlei seemed to know everything there was to know about carnal pleasures. She showed him everything. At that moment, Lin Feng could sense his vital energies condensing. He had the feeling he was fusing together with the earth, a perfect fusion. In that world, there were only Lin Feng and Yi Renlei. Lin Feng's demon intense, abstruse energies and soul were raging inside of him. The Kamadhatu, the 6 heavens of desire and passion, the carnal pleasure's skill, made the fusion between a man and a woman perfect. Lin Feng was discovering the real pleasures of making love while sinking into deprivation. However, in softness, there was hardness, in hardness there was softness, when sinking, one could rise. Yi Renlei was Lin Feng's mistress, he was her object, he only had to enjoy those pleasures. After a long time, the lotus eventually disappeared, Lin Feng and Yi Renlei were lying there. Lin Feng was looking at the sky, Yi Renlei was in his arms, her head was on his shoulders, and her face was red. Lin Feng suddenly stood up and rose up in the air. He said, I'm going back to practice cultivation. Yi Renlei looked at him and said in a gentle way, my love, you don't understand emotions. Then, she looked at her clothes. The dress which they had been lying on had a blood stain on it. She put it in her ring and put on something else. She rose up in the air as well, following Lin Feng. Time passed slowly that night. There was a terrifying demonic qi filling Yi Renlei's palace. It seemed like the room could explode at any moment. Yi Renlei was sitting in a pavilion, her cheeks were rosy, and she looked stunning. That's my man, he's incredibly strong, thought Yi Renlei, looking at the room from which the demonic qi was emanating. Kaboom! Finally, the small room exploded and demonic qi spread thousands of meters around. Demon clouds even appeared in the sky. Yi Renlei was amazed and smiled wryly. Was that a demon skill? It had to be from the antiquity, perhaps even demonic scriptures. Only imperial skills could be called scriptures. As expected, the demon clouds attracted many people. A group of soldiers appeared in the air and stared at it. Yi Renlei stopped smiling. She left the pavilion and said to the soldiers in a cold way, who told you to come here? Piss off. Your Highness, for your safety, I need to inspect those demonic clouds. Then he opened his third eye and moved his godly awareness towards Lin Feng's room. You want to die, said Yi Renlei. She opened her third eye and an ice-cold light shot out. At the same time, Yi Renlei moved quickly, energies rising to the skies. She was releasing water energies as a lake appeared in the sky and water dragon came out of it, heading towards the soldiers. Level 5 abstruse energies, the soldiers were pale. They wanted to run away but they had no time. The water dragon caught up with them. "Those who come to my palace without my authorization will die," said Renlei in a cold way. A few people gave horrible shrieks, and some drowned in the water abstruse energies, their bodies disappearing. Because Renlei seemed so strong, many people didn't dare bother her those days. After a few days, the demonic clouds became less distinct. Renlei had to release some energies around the room where Lin Feng was practicing cultivation, as to hide the demonic energies. 7 days later, the demon qi gradually disappeared. Renlei was still in the pavilion waiting when she looked in the direction of the room and whispered, "He should be coming out now." Plop, plop, sounds like water dripping sounded. Quickly, it sounded like there was an ocean, and a storm and thunder. Then, blood-like red lights emerged from the room he was cultivating. Renlei was wondering what was going on. More time passed, some days, and then the sounds became less intense. After a few days, Dao He came to Renlei, looked at her room and said, "Your Highness." Renlei came to him and Dao He bowed before her, but not that deeply. He no longer respected her as much as before. "What do you want?" asked Renlei in a cold way. "I want to fight your boyfriend, a battle to death," shouted Dao He furiously. His voice spread everywhere in the surroundings. Renlei frowned and said, "He's busy, leave now." "Come out," shouted Dao He furiously, ignoring Renlei. Renlei slowly rose up in the air, but at that moment, others appeared, Dao Gu and some others. "Your Highness," shouted Dao Gu politely while nodding. "What's going on?" "Your Highness, Dao He wanted to challenge your boyfriend and the snow leader agreed." "I hope you won't go against her will," said Dao Gu calmly. "Piss off," shouted Renlei, surprising Dao Gu. Dao He looked up at the room Lin Feng was cultivating. "Are you a coward?" "I told you to piss off," said Renlei. "We disturbed you." Dao He, let's go. The members of the Dao clan left, but the fact that Dao He had challenged Renlei's boyfriend spread around quickly. Chapter 1334, Aggressiveness and Brutality. A few young men were sipping tea inside courtyard of the territory of the palace. All the influential groups could go to the palace of the glacier. The more influence a group had, the closer they could get to the shrine. "Your Highness," Renlei refused to let her boyfriend fight Dao He, said a young man smiling. "It seemed like Renlei's boyfriend was going to break through to the Zun Qi layer," said one of the young men. "Ha, Zun Qi layer," everybody burst into laughter. The people sitting there were already above the first Zun Qi layer, so any news that Lin Feng was only breaking through to the Zun Qi layer was ridiculous. "You broke through to the 4th Zun Qi layer last year and it's already easy for you to destroy cultivators of the 6th Zun Qi layer. Soon, you'll become a cultivator at the top of the Zun Qi layer," said a girl smiling proudly to the young man. She was flirting with him. Someday, he'd be an emperor and she'd be on her couch, sleeping with him. Renlei found herself a weak boyfriend. How ridiculous. "We should humiliate her. What do you think?" "How?" asked someone excitedly. Someone said, "Your Highness, I can send some people to Renlei's palace and use them to bring her here. If they don't succeed, we can humiliate them too." The one wearing the imperial robe didn't talk, instead, he continued sipping his tea. He lowered his head as if he hadn't heard anything. Then, he smiled and gazed into the distance. It meant that he agreed and wanted to send people to invite them. As expected, a short while after, soldiers arrived in the air above Renlei's palace again. "Your Highness, the 6th prince sent us to invite you to our place," said the soldiers. They were wearing battle armor and had broken through to the 5th Zun Qi layer. They were so strong that Renlei couldn't kill them all like she had with the last group of soldiers. "Tell him that my boyfriend is busy," said Renlei. "You can come alone if your boyfriend has no time," said the soldiers firmly. "I don't have time either," said Renlei, this time releasing energies. The 6th prince said that if you didn't have time, he'd continue sending people each day. You can't refuse us every day, said that person indifferently. Yi Renlei looked furious. She turned her head and looked at the room in which Lin Feng was practicing cultivation, whispering, "My love, how long do you need to break through to the Zun Qi layer?" Time passed slowly in the Ice and Snow Empire. Some people thought it was funny that the sixth prince was sending people to Yi Renlei's palace every day. But Lin Feng was practicing cultivation, what could she do? She could only protect the room calmly. Lin Feng was going to break through to the Zun Qi layer, and that would be extremely important. That made Yi Renlei smile wryly. Lin Feng wasn't protecting her, but she was protecting him. 2 months passed, Yi Renlei and Lin Feng never showed up. Everybody was making fun of them now. Only 1 month more until the shrine opens. Yi Renlei was annoyed though because she practiced the Kamadhatu, the 6 heavens of desire and passion skill, and making love with Lin Feng had been greatly beneficial. She had broken through to the second Zun Qi layer, but because Lin Feng was practicing cultivation since, she couldn't isolate herself and practice herself. The sixth prince continued to send people, challenging Lin Feng. Even though she didn't care what people thought, but she was still feeling uncomfortable about the situation. 1 more month, thought Yi Renlei, looking at Lin Feng's room again. A month later, the shrine would open, and in less than 40 days after that, the meeting of the emperors would take place. Caw! A sound broke the silence, making Yi Renlei shiver. She turned around and looked at the room, smiling in a resplendent way. Lin Feng's eyes looked deep and meaningful. He wasn't releasing any qi. He looked even less extravagant than in the past. Yi Renlei's silhouette flickered and she moved towards Lin Feng. She stretched her slender white hands towards Lin Feng and put them around his neck. She hugged him and said, "My love, finally, you came out." "Don't turn me on as soon as I get out," said Lin Feng laughing. He looked incredible, like something had changed about him. Is it because he practiced demonic skills? Thought Yi Renlei. Skills played an important role in a cultivator's life. If he practiced evil cultivation, then he would become more evil. She practiced desire cultivation, so she grew better at seducing men after reaching the Zun Qi layer. "You chose to have sex with me, I didn't force you," said Yi Renlei in a seductive way. Lin Feng was getting turned on again. He had changed after making love with her. He was turned on by her even more than before, making him think that the Kamadhatu, the 6 heavens of desire and passion skill, was more powerful than he previously thought. "Do you want to?" asked Lin Feng indifferently. Yi Renlei smiled proudly and said, "During the next 100 days, I'm all yours. You're my love and I love debauchery with you." Lin Feng whispered, "You demon." Then, he hugged Yi Renlei and took her into the room. After a short time, Yi Renlei was moaning with pleasure again. After sex, his blood condensed as well as his vitality. His blood was boiling even. He looked at the incredible creature lying next to him. She looked incredibly seductive, so much so that he felt like doing it again. "Your Highness," shouted someone in the distance. Yi Renlei quickly put her clothes on again. Lin Feng stood up and frowned. "Who's that?" asked Lin Feng. "The 6th prince has been sending people every day. They want us to go there, but I've been refusing them every day." Sighed Yi Renlei. The two of them went outside and saw the cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer, as usual. He looked at Lin Feng and Yi Renlei and smiled coldly. "Finally, you actually came out. What do you want?" asked Lin Feng. "The 6th prince wants to see you," said that person proudly, as if it was an honor for Lin Feng. "He wants to see me?" Lin Feng repeated. "Indeed. Make him come here then," said Lin Feng. That person blinked a few times and stared at Lin Feng blankly. "You want the prince to come see you?" "You said he wanted to see me, but I don't want to see him," said Lin Feng. "All right," said that person. Then he turned around and left. Wait, said Lin Feng loudly. That person stopped and turned around. "What do you want?" Lin Feng rose up in the air and arrived in front of that soldier. He looked at him with his demonic eyes, terrifying that person. Boom! Lin Feng immediately punched him, sending him flying. What about my girlfriend's social status? How dare you talk that way while flying above her, said Lin Feng aggressively. His voice spread all around in the surroundings. Chapter 1335, Extreme Pressure. Yi Renlei, who had been annoyed for months now, suddenly felt much better. He was protecting her now, not the opposite. Yi Renlei looked at Lin Feng, who landed next to her. She said, "My love, you've changed, you became even more aggressive." "Isn't that better?" said Lin Feng, smirking. His demonic energies had been enhanced by lust. "Of course it's better. I can't believe you can already punch cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer like it's not a big deal." It was only a soldier, he was only an ordinary cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer. Besides, I used my demonic vision on him just before, so it was even easier, explained Lin Feng. To him, punching and making an ordinary cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer fly away was nothing to be proud of. If you didn't have your demonic vision, but using your full strength, how many punches would you need? Asked Yi Renlei. Lin Feng frowned and smiled. Full strength? One punch as well. Yi Renlei looked at him and smiled. You're confident. My love, you're already so strong. You can protect me now. Your Kamadhatu, the 6 heavens of desire and passion skill is incredible. After making love, you directly broke through to the 2nd Zun Qi layer. You, the celestial girl, are not any weaker than I, said Lin Feng. With the strength of the 1st Zun Qi layer, your water abstruse energy was already level 5. My love, we have 40 more days left, so you shouldn't call me celestial girl, said Yi Renlei. Alright, during the next 40 days, you're my love, said Lin Feng, caressing her cheeks. When the 6th prince and the others saw the bloodied soldier, they asked incredulously, what's going on? Your Highness, Yi Renlei's boyfriend came out of the room, said the soldier. His face was deathly pale and he didn't dare look at the 6th prince. Speak, said the 6th prince impatiently. I told him that you wanted to see him, but he said that you should go to see him instead, and then he injured you, said the 6th prince. Indeed, said the soldier in a low voice. Has he broken through to the Zun Qi layer, is that why he injured you? Asked the 6th prince. 1st Zun Qi layer. He also knows a demonic vision skill. I just glanced at him and he hurt me like this with just one punch, said the soldier. Demonic vision? Said the 6th prince surprised. Making a cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer fly away with demon intent and demonic vision alone was a great achievement. But he had only broken through to the 1st Zun Qi layer. At best he was talented, but not strong. He could also kill ordinary cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer easily. This afternoon, I'll organize a party and everyone's invited. Go and tell her that I'm organizing a banquet for her and her boyfriend, said the 6th prince. Don't worry, if he doesn't come, I'll go myself, said the 6th prince indifferently. The soldier nodded, bowed, and left. Everybody knew what the 6th prince intended, he wanted to humiliate Lin Feng. Later that afternoon, there were many noble-looking people in the palace of the 6th prince, outside in a large courtyard. There were also many beautiful women dancing in front of them. Your Highness, Yi Renlei and her boyfriend are not grateful, said someone, when they saw that Yi Renlei and Lin Feng weren't there. After all, it was a big banquet for Yi Renlei's boyfriend. If they come it'll be good, said the 6th prince, he didn't mind. He was busy watching the beautiful dancers. If he comes, I'll teach him a lesson. Everybody was chatting and drinking. On the other side, was a group of people who were quite calm, girls who were sided with the snow leader. They were all beautiful women, many of whom were jealous of Yi Renlei because the snow leader had chosen her to go to the palace. Of course, only some of them thought that way. Many of them didn't care who went, they focused on their cultivation with the goal of becoming even stronger. This time the snow leader had chosen Yi Renlei, the next time, she'd choose someone else. The sixth prince looked at Dao He and smiled indifferently. I heard that Yi Renlei's boyfriend can now defeat cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer easily. I have broken through to the 4th Zun Qi layer, so I wonder if he could defeat me so easily. Dao He frowned and looked at him in a cold way. Dao He didn't underestimate Lin Feng like the sixth prince. Actually, he thought he was extremely strong. After all, Lin Feng had killed a cultivator of the 6th Zun Qi layer in front of him. Even back then, cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer could barely defeat Lin Feng. They even had to rely on holy weapons to fight him. Now, Lin Feng had broken through to the Zun Qi layer, but Dao He thought he could still defeat Lin Feng. After all, his blade intent was like a holy weapon. Your Highness, you must be joking. Your fighting abilities can't be defined in terms of cultivation level alone. Besides, you said he could defeat cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer, but actually, he used his demonic vision and attacked that guy by surprise. In a real battle, I'd be surprised if he managed to fight an ordinary cultivator of the 4th Zun Qi layer. I'd be surprised. Maybe you've overestimated him. I'm sure that I, a cultivator of the 2nd Zun Qi layer, can even kill him, said another young man proudly. You want to kill me? Said someone in the distance. Suddenly, everybody stopped laughing and looked ahead. Two silhouettes appeared, one of them was Yi Renlei and the other. The most annoying thing was her smiling and looking at her lover, Lin Feng. Many people looked at them in a cold way. Dao He was already releasing blade intent. Lin Feng helped Yi Renlei to the ground and walked towards the one who had just talked. He wanted to kill him. Chapter 1336, Punching Dao He. No matter their strength, Lin Feng's demonic skills probably came from imperial scriptures. In the Ice and Snow Empire, even princes didn't have imperial scriptures. Lin Feng had the advantage in terms of skills, especially after breaking through to the Zun Qi layer. I'm here, so why don't you kill me? Asked Lin Feng. The young man pulled a long face and then looked furious. He released ice energies as if he wanted to freeze Lin Feng, however, his energies had no effect. He couldn't even weaken Lin Feng's energies, but his determination was being corroded. Piss off, shouted that young man. However, Lin Feng just raised his gigantic hand, filled with demonic energies. Die! The young man suddenly released even more ice energies. Even if he was oppressed, he couldn't give up. Kaboom! In the blink of an eye, Lin Feng's demonic hand grabbed the young man's neck, suffocating him. He looked petrified as Lin Feng slowly raised him in the air. I thought you wanted to kill me, said Lin Feng. How dare you act like that on the day of the 6th prince's banquet, said a cold voice in the distance, breaking the silence. You don't understand etiquette, put him down, said someone else. Boom! Lin Feng threw the young man against the ground, violently. The table next to him exploded even. The young man had many broken bones. He gave another horrible shriek when Lin Feng put his foot on the young man's wounded chest. Boom! Lin Feng released terrifying energies. Not only didn't Lin Feng release him when he heard those people, he even threw the young man to the ground. The banquet was organized for you, and you aren't giving anyone face, you ungrateful scum, said someone else. For me. When I arrived, I heard him say he could easily kill me. Why would I give people like him any face, said Lin Feng, glancing at that person with his pitch-black eyes. Do I know any of you, said Lin Feng indifferently. After that, another horrible shriek spread in the air. No wonder that Yi Ren chose that guy, he's quite strong. No wonder she doesn't care about Dao He, said the 6th prince, drinking alcohol and laughing. He didn't look angry at all. Dao He looked furious when heard the 6th prince. Mu Feng, said Dao He, glaring at Lin Feng with murder in his eyes. Lin Feng looked at Dao He fearlessly. I want to challenge you, said Dao He. A battle to the death. A battle to the death, the crowd was astonished. If he managed to kill Lin Feng, nobody would care. Even the snow leader initially wanted Dao He and Yi Renlei to get married, but then Yi Renlei came back with Lin Feng. The snow leader didn't really care and didn't want to get involved in Yi Renlei's love affairs. The rule is that we can't use holy weapons, said Dao He. Lin Feng had a scepter and it was a terrifying weapon. He also had an empty space robe which allowed him to teleport around. How can I be sure that the Dao clan won't get involved, said Lin Feng, smiling in a cold way. If he killed Dao he would be his first victim after breaking through to the Zun Qi layer. If you accept the challenge, I can seal the space around us. Nobody will disturb you until one of you dies, said the sixth prince, smiling. He would love to see that battle. No matter who died, Lin Feng or Dao He died, that battle would be entertaining. Let's fight then, said Lin Feng. His blood was boiling and demonic qi was flowing throughout his body. Alright, I'll seal the space, nobody else can get involved, said the sixth prince, smiling. He then said to Lin Feng, you can start fighting. Boom! Dao He's qi dashed to the sky as he released his blade energies. Mu Feng, you'll die, shouted Dao He aggressively. A gigantic blade moved towards Lin Feng. His attacks were as powerful as holy weapons. Lin Feng raised his fist and punched the air in Dao He's direction while rising up in the air. Demonic qi was rotating around him and dashing to the skies. Die! Dao He didn't talk much, he jumped forwards and released Blade Sharp level 5 wind abstruse energies. A gigantic 10-meter long blade shined as it cut towards Lin Feng. Bzzz. Lin Feng jumped forwards using his Xiao Yao agility technique. He condensed some wind and empty space abstruse energies as he moved towards Dao He. Dao He was surprised, Lin Feng was so fast. The crowd was astonished too, it seemed like Lin Feng's agility technique contained holy marks. Dao He, shouted Lin Feng. Dao He raised his head and looked at Lin Feng. He looked into those two pitch-black eyes, demonic energies starting to corrode his thoughts. The 9 netherworld's water appeared and he couldn't control himself anymore, even though he had broken through to the 3rd Zun Qi layer. Boom! Lin Feng punched Dao He's head, causing it to instantly exploded. Chapter 1337, Insane Battle, Dao He is dead. The crowd was astonished, their hearts were pounding. How powerful, explosive, aggressive. One punch and Lin Feng had destroyed Dao He. What happened, thought the crowd. Lin Feng had shouted and Dao He stopped moving. Was that demonic strength? Lin Feng didn't even glance at Dao He's corpse. He landed in front of the crowd and said aggressively, who else can kill me easily? I'm waiting. Nobody said anything. All those who had criticized Lin Feng a moment before remained silent. Dao He had broken through to the 3rd Zun Qi layer and with his abstruse energies, he could easily kill ordinary cultivators of the 5th Zun Qi layer. Unfortunately for him, Lin Feng was far from ordinary. Lin Feng's punch hadn't only killed Dao He, it had destroyed many people's confidence. Had Yi Renlei chosen a random man as a boyfriend? How come you all look so upset? You were chatting happily a moment before, said Lin Feng. Mu Feng, the banquet was organized for you and Yi Renlei, please have a seat. Let's chat and enjoy ourselves, said a cultivator of the 4th Zun Qi layer. He was sitting not far from the 6th prince, meaning the prince trusted him. Lin Feng's strength had ruined their plans. They initially wanted to humiliate Yi Renlei and him, but now they couldn't anymore. For me, said Lin Feng, smiling coldly. He turned his head and looked at Yi Renlei with his pitch-black eyes. My love, do you believe them? My love, do you think I'm stupid? Asked Yi Renlei, smirking. Lin Feng turned again and looked at the one who just talked. My girlfriend is saying that you are trying to humiliate us. That guy became petrified. He thought he'd managed to calm down Lin Feng, but it seemed like Lin Feng and Yi Renlei had come to cause them trouble. Lin Feng slowly walked towards that guy. Each of his steps sufficed to explode the ground beneath him. He was condensing the natural force of the earth and sky as he walked. Weaker cultivators started breathing even faster, their blood hurt. Bump, the sixth prince violently slammed his glass on the table. He looked furious. Boom! Boom boom boom, an incredible amount of chi rose up in the air. The young men who were on the side of the Ice Emperor all stood up, releasing ice-cold energies. Lin Feng stopped after he was surrounded by those ice energies. So that's the kind of ceremony you organized for my boyfriend, said Yi Renlei, smiling indifferently. All those men were Zun cultivators, the strongest one had broken through to the 5th Zun Qi layer. It is important to note that if a young man of the 5th Zun Qi layer was allowed to sit there, it meant that he was extraordinarily strong, at least as strong as a cultivator of the 6th Zun Qi layer, maybe even stronger. You saw that Mu Feng wasn't happy to be with us, you can't blame us for this, said the 6th prince, acting like he didn't care about their game anymore. My love, sing a song for them, said Lin Feng. Yi Renlei nodded and sat down, cross-legged in the air. She took out a zither and rested it on her legs. She started playing and singing, the sound waves surrounded Thm, creating illusions. Lin Feng's eyes became even darker and his demonic intent became even scarier. Yi Renlei's 6 Desires demon song could make his demonic intent even stronger. Boom boom, ice-cold energy surrounded Lin Feng's body, but Lin Feng continued walking. Sounds like shattering glass sounded as the ice around him broke apart. He took out his scepter and released cursing energies. No wonder Dao, he said he didn't want to use holy weapons, thought the crowd. Many people's determination was already being affected. Lin Feng continued walking forwards and said, soul cursing. Demon destruction territory. Lin Feng released a dark territory. After breaking through to the Zun Qi layer, cultivators up to the 3rd Zun Qi layer would have their strength sealed and restrained. Spirit, shouted someone furiously. Some people realized they had to attack before it was too late. The space was suddenly filled with ice energies, snowflakes started falling inside the demon territory. None of those people had studied ancient scriptures, so they didn't know what territory strength was. They only knew how to use the strength of their blood and spirits. Die, shouted someone furiously. He wanted to make Lin Feng freeze. His multicolored spirit started attacking Lin Feng. La la la, roar, terrifying blood chi rose to the skies as dragons chanted. Lin Feng's blood was extremely powerful, so much so that dragons would chant just when he invoked his blood strength. However, Lin Feng didn't release his spirit, he was still acting as a black mage. His dragon spirit belonged to Lin Feng. Even in the Ice and Snow Empire, he had to keep some secrets. He only invoked his blood strength and it was enough to suffocate people. With that powerful blood strength, was he from an imperial family? Lin Feng jumped forwards and roared. Demonic energies whistled, dragons chanted, his energies rose to the skies together. Cultivators of the 1st and 2nd Zun Qi layer coughed up blood, cultivators of the 3rd Zun Qi layer groaned with pain. They finally couldn't stand the cursing energies, the 6 Desires song, and the demonic song. Chapter 1338, Destroying Noble Young Men. Lin Feng's attacks had destroyed their determination and restrained their strength. They were starting to go insane. Once they all released their spirits at the same time, Lin Feng disappeared and reappeared above them. Boom boom boom, energies crashed where Lin Feng was standing a moment before. Die! Lin Feng was still holding his scepter as he shouted furiously. People raised their heads and looked into Lin Feng's pitch-black eyes. The crowd then saw a demon silhouette appear who looked particularly proud and evil. The energies of the 9 Netherworlds demon filled the territory. 9 Netherworlds song, Demon Life. Lin Feng started singing the song of the 9 Netherworlds as everybody was staring into his eyes. Everybody was filled with threads of demonic intent, losing control and turning into demons. In this world, I am your master and you are my slaves, said Lin Feng. Those people were shaking uncontrollably. No, nobody can control me, said a cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer, trying to regain control of himself. Kill him, said Lin Feng. Die, die, die. The cultivators of the 3rd Zun Qi layer and under all threw themselves at the cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer, unable to control themselves. Die, all of you, shouted the cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer. He had level 6 ice and snow abstruse energies, easily freezing all those people. Slash, 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 spears made of ice pierced through their bodies and killed them instantly. The 6th prince was aghast. He hadn't thought Lin Feng would go so far. Did Lin Feng really just break through to the Zun Qi layer? Yi Renlei, what a pleasant surprise, said the 6th prince. Yi Renlei was smiling as she watched Lin Feng's battle. My love, you've received some incredible knowledge from the Netherworld Demon Emperor, thought Yi Renlei. Back in Shuiyu, Yi Renlei knew that Lin Feng had received some knowledge from the Netherworld Demon Emperor when he and the Qiong Qi talked to the Demon Emperor. Lin Feng watched the cultivator of the 5th Zun Qi layer killing the cultivators he had possessed. Since that cultivator had level 6 abstruse energies, Lin Feng needed to kill him as fast as possible. Soul cursing. Lin Feng's scepter streaked across the sky and turned into a gigantic tree, oppressing the universe. Freeze, shouted that cultivator, releasing their blood strength. Curse, shouted Lin Feng. The ice broke and a demonic tower fell from the sky. It was a holy weapon, the golden tower which Qi Jiao Jiao was imprisoned. I already used the Devamara territory as Lin Feng, so I can't use it now, thought Lin Feng. Back when he fought against Xue Bagyo, he had used the Devamara territory. Even though he was in Jiuyu, he had to avoid using it in case somebody had seen his fight outside Fortune City. Chapter 1339, Yi Renlei's plan. Lin Feng descended from the sky and landed on the ground, looking far less like a demon than a moment before. Unfortunately, my demon intent is not strong enough still. My demonic abstruse energies are way too weak. I can't even use the 9 netherworlds demoniac song properly, otherwise, they would have turned into slaves instantly, thought Lin Feng. I can rely on pure demon strength, demonic skills, and territory strength to kill cultivators of the 4th Zun Qi layer in one strike, but it's still not enough, thought Lin Feng. He raised his head and looked at the 6th prince. You don't mind them being dead, do you? Mocked Lin Feng. The 6th emperor looked unperturbed. Lin Feng was convinced that the 6th prince had a reason for his confidence. Even if he had only broken through to the 4th Zun Qi layer, he was probably the strongest of them all. However, he didn't seem to be interested in fighting against Lin Feng. They were my friends, but you're my fellow disciple's boyfriend. I didn't want to see you battle to death, but since it's already done, I can only have compassion for them, said the 6th prince calmly. Someone rose up in the air and appeared in front of the 6th prince. Your Highness, there are more and more people, just let them pass, said the 6th prince indifferently. That person nodded and left again. Lin Feng looked at the 6th prince. He was smiling cruelly. That guy had probably used Lin Feng to get rid of those people. Boom! A terrifying Qi appeared. Dao He. Dao Gu looked at Dao He's body on the ground and his face turned deathly pale. My son. Yang Fan, those people's faces turned red. The 6th prince had organized a banquet for all the noble people. Those who had just arrived were their family members, and seeing their sons dead on the ground made them furious. There were corpses everywhere. Your Highness, all of them were infuriated, staring at the 6th prince. They had attacked Yi Renlei's boyfriend and he killed them all. I couldn't do anything to stop it, said the 6th prince, bowing before them in a respectful way. He couldn't do anything. Lin Feng had killed so many people, but the 6th prince didn't care at all. Hypocritical. All those people knew that he was being hypocritical. They had heard about Mu Feng before. The 6th prince had obviously used those people to kill Mu Feng. But in the end, Mu Feng had killed them, so they couldn't be angry at the sixth prince. All of them looked at Lin Feng coldly. Surprisingly, it was a cultivator of the first Zun-Chi layer. As unsurprisingly, Yi Renlei had chosen an incredibly extraordinary young man. "Did you kill them?" asked Dao Gu. "Dao He challenged me to a battle to death, you already knew that," said Lin Feng. Yi Renlei flew over to Lin Feng, grabbed his arm and said, "I saw everything, they wanted to kill my lover, but when they attacked him, he defended himself and killed them all. They lost, so you can't do anything, and if you try anything dodgy against him, I guarantee it will have consequences," said Yi Renlei, releasing some cold energies. Apart from the Dao clan, there were many other powerful groups. If the Snow Leader was angry, she really could destroy them, even the Ice Emperor couldn't stop her if she got angry. But if they didn't kill Lin Feng, then their offspring would have died for nothing. "Your Highness, Dao He was good to you and the Dao clan has been good to you." "Dao He is dead now, did he die for nothing?" said Dao Gu, his face was red. Yi Renlei didn't look affected, she held no compassion for them. "Dao He challenged Lin Feng and my mother accepted the battle. If Dao He had killed Lin Feng, I would have said nothing, but he won and killed Dao He. You have to respect and accept the result of the battle as I have. Go and find my mother if you have anything left to discuss concerning the battle," said Yi Renlei, sounding rather angry. Yi Renlei then dragged Lin Feng and rose up in the air, leaving. Of course, they weren't going to let Lin Feng off after this. Yi Renlei brought Lin Feng back to her palace and they both burst into laughter. "My love, you're amazing," said Yi Renlei smiling. "My love, can you stop turning me on?" said Lin Feng. He already wanted to make love with her. If he stayed with her his entire life, wouldn't he turn into an actual pervert? "It's an honor for me to turn you on all the time," said Yi Renlei, giggling while caressing Lin Feng's body. "What should we do about all those problems?" asked Lin Feng, smiling wryly and forgetting about his desire. "We can avoid the problem by walking away from it," said Yi Ren. "We can avoid the problem by walking away from it." Lin Feng was speechless. Weren't they supposed to go to the shrine? "Alright, you already did what you had to do. Just listen to me," said Yi Renlei smiling. "I wonder why the sixth prince did that," whispered Lin Feng. "All those people were experts at plotting, just like Duan Wuya in the past." Lin Feng was starting to think that the sixth prince wanted those people to kill Lin Feng, but in the end it hadn't happened. My fellow disciple doesn't care about what strangers think about him, he also didn't care about those people, all he cares about is strength. His goal is to become an emperor and then a great emperor, so what he has to do before that is obtain the most precious treasures from the shrine. He thinks I'm his biggest threat, therefore, his goal is the ice and snow shrine, said Yi Renlei. So in the end he wants to fight you and I. Indeed, some other people will also go there, said Yi Renlei. But, the sixth prince mustn't be worried about those other people. Today, I let you kill all those people so that the evil woman would accept you, said Yi Renlei smiling. If the snow leader accepted Lin Feng, he wouldn't die. Chapter 1340, The Future Ice and Snow Goddess. For the snow leader to accept me? Lin Feng smiled. The world of cultivation was full of strategies and rules. Even though Yi Renlei hated the snow leader, she still played by her rules. If I hadn't gone to kill them, some people would have come to kill me, asked Lin Feng. Of course, Dao He is a good example. Before going to the shrine, the snow leader wouldn't have let you off, but since you proved your strength, she won't annoy us anymore, said Yi Renlei, in a seductive whisper. Her face was close to Lin Feng's, her lips even brushed against Lin Feng's lips. My love, take me in your arms and let's go inside, said Yi Renlei. Lin Feng couldn't control himself, he immediately took her in his arms and walked into the room, carrying her. Quickly after, her moans could be heard from outside. That night, two dark silhouettes flew towards the shrine. As they made it to the front of Yi Renlei's palace and entered it, there was nobody there. Lin Feng and Yi Renlei had disappeared. 10 days later. There was another state called the Ice Mountain Empire, which was very far from the Ice and Snow Empire. It was a medium-level empire with ice covering everything. The entire empire was an iceberg. In the very north of the country, there was a glacier where nobody normally resided. There was a small mountain range with desolate stones. 2 people were staying there, using the ice as a bed, and making love. After a long time, they were still lying down on the ice, like statues. They were both in each other's arms. "I think I'm falling in love with you," said Yi Renlei. Her legs were on Lin Feng, caressing him. Lin Feng looked at her and sighed. He wasn't worried about Yi Renlei falling in love with him, he was worried because he was completely crazy about her. "Stay with me forever then," said Lin Feng, caressing her skin and enjoying her beautiful body. "I can't. I have to walk my own path, my love. You should understand, you're the same. Besides, I'm an adept at desire cultivation," said Yi Renlei, giggling. Lin Feng had many women, Meng Qing, a beautiful celestial girl, Yuxian. "What path?" asked Lin Feng, sighing. "Are you afraid that I would practice desire cultivation with other people?" asked Yi Renlei, jumping on top of Lin Feng. Then, she lied on him and smiled at him. "My love, if I decide to practice desire cultivation, how would you react?" asked Yi Renlei, rubbing herself against Lin Feng softly. Lin Feng shivered, quickly turned himself around and jumped on top of her. "If you do that, I will kill every man that you know," said Lin Feng, his eyes were filled with murder. Yi Renlei shivered. Kill every man she knew. She put her arms around Lin Feng and caressed his back. "Make love to me again." "Mmh." Yi Renlei moaned, they were both on fire. After making love to her, Lin Feng said, "I'll show you something." Chapter 1341, Jingyun. In the imperial city of Ice Mountain Empire, there was a myriad of people on the large streets and small lanes. Amongst them was a young man and a young woman who attracted a lot of attention. They were attracting attention because their chi was incredible. The young man looked like a demon, his eyes were pitch black, and people couldn't see how strong he was. The woman he was with was stunning. She had a beautiful face, beautiful long black hair, enchanting eyes, and she was holding the young man's arm. Of course, those people were Lin Feng and Yi Renlei. Only 10 days were left before the opening of the shrine, and up to that point, they had been spending the last days making love, traveling and enjoying themselves. They felt rather relaxed and carefree. It's a medium-level empire, but ordinary people here are stronger than those in the Tian Qi Empire, thought Lin Feng. But, it made sense seeing how close the Ice Mountain Empire was to the Ice and Snow Empire in Jiuyu. Lin Feng sighed, he was starting to feel lonely. Back then in Ganyu, he was an insignificant person and he wasn't that strong. A few years passed and now he was walking in a place where people were even stronger than those in Ganyu and yet, they avoided him. Of course, Lin Feng wasn't satisfied with his strength. The continent of the 9 clouds was gigantic, and maybe in the holy city, he would still be considered a nobody. "My love, we have 10 more days. When we are not together anymore, won't you miss me?" said Yi Renlei, smiling at Lin Feng. "What about you?" "You little devil," said Lin Feng. Yi Renlei giggled and said, "Luckily, on the other day you took care of all those guys, otherwise, the snow leader wouldn't have let us travel freely like that." "What's the snow leader's true purpose?" whispered Lin Feng. "I don't know either. Maybe she wants the secret treasures of the shrine, after all, she has never been inside herself." "The snow leader has never been inside," said Lin Feng. "The snow leader had the strength of a cultivation emperor, even if she couldn't go to the shrine before, now that she was an emperor, why couldn't she go? It might have something to do with the mysteries of the continent. Jiuyu has existed since the antiquity, the 9 shrines are the symbols of the 9 empires. Such mysterious and powerful locations must have specific rules to follow, rules which prevent even emperors from going, said Yi Renlei. Maybe it's like Fortune City, thought Lin Feng. Even emperors and great emperors can't violate the rules of that place. The holy city, whispered Lin Feng. Everything seemed to be pointing to the holy city. Maybe he would discover some incredible mysteries if he went there. Boom, 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 the ground shook, breaking the peaceful silence. Cultivators in an armor arrived on an ice lion and people moved aside to let them pass. Lin Feng and Yi Renlei moved back too. Even though Yi Renlei and Lin Feng didn't like being submissive, each place had its own rules. The lion passed next to Lin Feng, looking majestic. That person's social status was probably incredible. What a beautiful woman, said a loud voice. The cultivator on the lion stretched his hand out towards Yi Renlei. Lin Feng frowned. Rumbling sounds spread in the air, then the lion and the cultivator flew away. To Lin Feng, a cultivator of the Tian Qi layer was too weak. Another cultivator on a lion ran over to Lin Feng. He glanced at his friend who had just been killed by Lin Feng. But then they left because they knew Lin Feng was too strong for them. They could only blame their friend for not being more careful. Some time passed and the cultivators on their lions disappeared. Phew, you're brave, you dared attack the members of the Ice Lion Knightage, said an old cultivator of the Tian Qi layer, walking towards Lin Feng and shaking his head. Are they that strong? Said Yi Renlei laughing. If her boyfriend was furious, he could cause a lot of trouble in a medium-level empire. You don't know them, they're knights. Apart from the imperial family, nobody dares offend them in the Ice Mountain Empire. The Mo clan, which is one of the most prestigious clans in the empire, offended General Narang's clan and they're probably going to be destroyed because of it, said the old man shaking his head. If the knightage wasn't going to let the Mo clan off, then Lin Feng and Yi Renlei were also in trouble. Since the Narang clan is so terrifying, why did the Mo clan offend them? Asked Yi Renlei, as if she had nothing to do and wanted to chat. Because of women, women are always a source of calamity. Young General Narang and the second prince of the Mo clan liked the same girl, but it seems like the second prince and that girl have already been in a relationship for a long time. So, the second prince of the Mo clan offended the Narang clan. Young General Narang even dispatched the Ice Lion Knightage to deal with the Mo clan, said the old man, shaking his head. He seemed to be thinking that it was a pity because the second prince of the Mo clan was more outstanding than young General Narangyu. That girl must be really beautiful, said Yi Renlei, smiling and winking at Lin Feng. Lin Feng was speechless though. Few girls could be as beautiful as Yi Renlei. Miss Jing Yun is indeed extremely beautiful, but she is still extremely far from being as beautiful as you, said the old man. Mister, what's the girl's name you said? Jing Yun. Jing Yun. Lin Feng immediately thought about a Jing Yun that he hadn't seen for so many years. Was it the same girl? Or did she just have the same name? Thank you very much, mister, we're leaving now, said Lin Feng, dragging Yi Renlei. A strong wind started blowing, the old man's clothes fluttered in the wind. Then, he watched as those two silhouettes flew away into the horizon. Phew, the old man took a deep breath and smiled wryly. Seems like I'm too old and too weak. Very quickly, Lin Feng and Yi Renlei caught up with the ice lions. My love, is it another one of your girlfriends? Asked Yi Renlei angrily. One of my best friends, we're from the same sect which got destroyed when I was younger, replied Lin Feng. Humph. Yi Renlei groaned coldly. Lin Feng just smiled at her, not trying to cheer her up. You're still smiling, said Yi Renlei. You being jealous is a good thing, I'm happy, said Lin Feng mockingly. Chapter 1342, That Sword Again. The Ice Lion Knights were quick. In 2 hours, they already arrived in front of some governmental buildings and crossed the main entrance. The Mo clan was in the heart of the imperial city. They were a strong and powerful clan, but couldn't be compared with the Narang clan. Many people gazed into the distance. Yi Renlei and Lin Feng rose up in the air and landed on a tower 1,000 meters away from the Mo clan. If it wasn't the Jing Yun he knew, Lin Feng wouldn't get involved. The knights were waiting for something. In the distance, an ice-winged snow lion arrived, looking like the king of the ice lions. On its back was a young man and 2 old men who were probably his protectors. Everybody knew him, Narang Yu. Mo Yunyao is in trouble. He actually got close to the girl Narang Yu likes, so he's going to die, thought many people. Open the door, said the young man on the lion. Then, the lion crushed the gate of the Mo clan. At the same time, some people came out of the Mo clan's buildings. There were a few old men who looked scared. At the front, there were 2 people in chains. However, when Lin Feng saw the chained girl, cold lights appeared in his eyes. Jing Yun. Lin Feng shivered. That was Jing Yun, his old friend. She looked pure and kind, but at that moment, her face was pale and she was chained. Is it really your friend? Asked Yi Renlei. Yes, said Lin Feng nodding. She was his first real friend. He had met Jing Yun and Duan Feng while they were traveling, but now, he was wondering how Duan Feng was doing. I'm going to resolve the situation, said Lin Feng. His silhouette flickered away. The members from the Mo clan were shaking for Narang Yu had come with his lion, a level 3 Zun beast. Young General Narang, Mo Yunyao offended you, please forgive us. We are willing to do anything, said the old man. It was Mo Yunyao's great-grandfather and leader of the Mo clan. Go down, shouted Narang Yu to his lion, landing in front of the crowd. He stared at Mo Yunyao and said coldly, I told you I'd kill you, what do you want? Your life or the girl? Narang Yu, you're the 4th young master of the Narang clan, but you're also the weakest one. You have only broken through to the 4th Tian Qi layer, so you're just a piece of trash, said Mo Yunyao. Even though he was chained, he disdained Narang Yu. Alright, very good. Narang Yu looked at Jing Yun and said, I'll humiliate the girl in front of you, and then we'll see if you continue barking. Narang Yu then walked to Jing Yun and smiled in an evil way, if you don't want to be my girlfriend, I don't care, I can still enjoy some carnal pleasures. You dirty animal. Let her off, said Mo Yunyao furiously, but Narang Yu didn't care. Grandpa, you know the situation about mom and dad, but so what? Even though I offended the Narang clan, you can't be that cruel. Jing Yun has done nothing to us. Let her go, said Mo Yunyao to the leader of the Mo clan. Shut the hell up, shouted Mo Yang Feng furiously. He didn't care about a girl when their clan's destiny was at stake. Hee hee. Narang Yu smiled indifferently and said to Mo Yang Feng. You won't prevent me from doing what I want, right? I'm at your service, young master, said Mo Yang Feng respectfully. Well, what if I ask you to personally take her clothes off, said Narang Yu evilly. Mo Yang Feng was surprised and looked horrified. Narang Yu wanted to tarnish the old man's reputation. I will do whatever you want, replied Mo Yang Feng. He had to act on behalf of the clan. So what are you waiting for? Start now, said Narang Yu evilly. Mo Yang Feng was petrified as he walked towards Jing Yun. Mo Yang Feng, you dirty animal, said Mo Yunyao, his face was red with fury. He looked at Jing Yun, her face was deathly pale. Jing Yun, I'm so sorry. I was unlucky, it's not your fault, said Jing Yun crying. She shook her head and looked at Mo Yang Feng who was getting near her, then she closed her eyes. Surprisingly, she thought of someone in the Black Wind Mountain, a handsome young man with a sword. Mo Yang Feng stretched out his hands and put them on Jing Yun's body. Stop, said someone. Mo Yang Feng stopped and the crowd saw a young man land in front of them. Jing Yun was astonished, she opened her eyes and saw that smile she remembered. Tears started flowing down her cheeks, she never thought she'd see him again in Jiuyu. He looks different, stronger, more alive, thought Jing Yun. She didn't know what was different about him. She thought that she could fall in love with Mo Yunyao, but actually, she had never forgotten Lin Feng. Even though she never got close to him, she knew she would never forget about him. The crowd was surprised. Did that guy know Jing Yun? Mo Yang Feng frowned and said coldly, Your Excellency, stop now. Lin Feng raised his head and looked at Mo Yang Feng. Is Jing Yun a member of the Mo clan? She isn't, said Mo Yang Feng. I'll give you one opportunity, unchain Jing Yun and kneel down to apologize, said Lin Feng. Mo Yang Feng blinked. Some people laughed. Lin Feng was ridiculous. Kneel down and apologize? Little boy, even though you've broken through to the first Zun Qi layer, don't think you can act recklessly. Piss off, said Mo Yang Feng. He had enough problems with the Narang clan, so he didn't need anything more to deal with. It seemed like new problems kept cropping up unexpectedly. That's a cultivator of the first Zun Qi layer, but he's so young, thought some people. However, Mo Yang Feng had broken through to the third Zun Qi layer, so he was stronger than Lin Feng. You want to use my friend for your clan to be forgiven for their mistakes? Very good, said Lin Feng, slowly walking ahead and releasing energies. Only one opportunity. Then, Lin Feng released sharp sword energies. Slash, slash. Boom. That sword chi whistled and moved towards Mo Yang Feng. Slash, Mo Yang Feng ran backwards, starting to feel scared for himself. He hadn't only offended Narangyu, he had also offended that young man who looked furious. Piss off. Kaboom. The sword chi pushed Mo Yang Feng back. Jing Yun was surprised, her mouth twitched. Had that young man from Shuiyu become so strong? You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.